Red men and red ladies, welcome to the late night agenda, the final one before Liverpool play tomorrow against Brighton. It's great because last week we had 8 days between games, guys, and this week it feels like a short break. Only 5 days between games. We are, of course, here to talk to you guys. Go through your comments, go through the chat, see what you want to talk about. As I always say, this is your show, but I have a little surprise tonight, guys, because I'm not on my own, as you can probably see, because I've an earpiece in. I've got Cash. Cash, you're just back from your holidays, mate. One, did you enjoy yourself? And two, welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, firstly. Well, in response to point two, thank you. I am happy to be back. And to answer your first question, yes, I did have a lovely time. Cornwall's really, really nice. I've never been before. I've always wanted to go. And although it's not a foreign holiday or a holiday away, it's just a really, really nice break. The way of life down there, it's a lot more slow paced. Kind of similar to Ireland, like obviously where I grew up. It was kind of nice to have that kind of nostalgic kind of hark back to that. And as I said, it was really nice to have. It was just me and three of my friends. We stayed in my dad's, not my dad's, my friend's dad's caravan. We all drove down together. It was really affordable. Yeah, it was just a really, really nice time. I'm a bit tired, but just a really nice few days. So yeah,
I
thank
didn't
you. It was
realise
very
you were
good.
a gypsy, Cash. Well then,
No, no, unfortunately not.
was
We
it a
did
full-on
stay
Father
in
Ted scenario?
accommodation. Say it again.
Was it a full-on Father Ted scenario in the caravan?
You know what? I did make that reference, and because they're all English, they didn't get it, which was upsetting.
How
So
dare
then I
they?
proceeded to show them all the clip on YouTube, and only two of them laughed, and the other one I'm no longer friends with for that reason. No, I'm only joking.
This one is
I
small. They are far away.
Google these cows are small, but these ones are far away. Yeah. Oh god, the episode where Graham Norton dances in the caravan, he fucking knocks it over. That is so funny. But yeah, Father Ted. I could do an entire stream just on Father Ted and how every episode is a gift from God.
We did the other night. We end usually when we end the stream, we do a 15 minute window where we talk about something non-football related, and it was manna from heaven the other night. Cash. It was only Fields and Horses that we talked about for the last 15 minutes, and it was like my favorite 15 minutes ever.
I can imagine. Yeah, no, it's yeah, I don't feel like they make shows like that anymore, sadly.
No, they don't. Do you know what? We better jump into the chat and say hello to the good people who've joined us tonight. I see Will, Stephen, Joseph, Far Isle, Paul, Connor, Ryan, Damo, Anthony, Thomas, Lalou, Frankie, Kieran, Valga, Cray, Luke. It's filling up already. A lot of people, Cash, are interested in talking about one thing: the fact that there's only one more sleep until we get to watch the Reds again.
Yeah, no, it's really, really exciting. I was in work today, and there was like about, I think, 10 to 15 Norwegian guys that have come over to watch the game, and it's good for me because I just get to sort of sit there and have a chat, and everybody's really excited. And I asked everybody, not in any kind of surveying way, but just to make conversation. I asked everyone who'd come in that said they were a Liverpool fan, what do you think the score is going to be tomorrow, and how do you feel like the season has started, and so on. And the response was overwhelmingly positive. The belief very much is that we're probably going to win tomorrow, in the sense that we have a ridiculously good record against Brighton. They're not good away from home, etc. And that would represent a very strong start to the season, albeit games that we should win. We should be winning those games, but nonetheless, you still got to win them. And so, I think the feeling is very positive. And obviously, a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday is a nice
Oh,
kickoff.
it's
I
fucking
like
lovely,
that
isn't
time.
it? It's fucking
It's a
lovely.
lovely kickoff. I wish I wasn't working. I'm pissed off, but you've got to make the readies. But for me, it's goal making's a really nice game. And Brighton are the kind of team that I when they're not playing us, I wish them well. I think they're a well-run club, and I think they have done well since they've come into the Premier League. Chris Hughton, how could you hate him? He's one of the nice
Ah,
guys
he's
in
a top
football.
man, isn't he? He really is.
You can't dispute that, and he's done a good job with them. But I do think we're going to be overwhelmingly too strong for them.
I'm looking at the
That
comments here in the chat, Cash. A lot of 4-0s and 3-0s. Will's gone 4-0. Yeah, Sturridge too. We'll get to the team selection actually, Cash, in a few minutes because that's quite an interesting topic. Owen, a lot of people just saying hello and good evening, which is great to see. I hope you're all really, really well. Cash, people are going to be coming in and they're going to be giving us a score prediction. So before I forget, give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be 3-0. I'm going to say. I back us to not concede a goal against them.
The
and
cheek
keep,
of us
clean
then.
sheets
The
in all three of the first
cheek of
games
us
would be
going
great.
3 games with clean sheets, Cash. The cheek of us.
Oh, I'd love it. I think it would totally vindicate, firstly, any lingering doubts, although there aren't really any, but any lingering doubts over the Van Dijk signing. And not the Van Dijk signing, but the price involved. And it would also really, really just continue to prop up Joe Gomez, who's getting a lot of positive feedback since he's come into the team at centre back and been utterly untroubled, really, you would say, largely. So yeah, it's I think that would be great. I actually would happily take a 1-0 win so long as it was a nil. I think 3 clean sheets, maximum points. You can't really say fairer than that. It would be a lovely start.
It will be a delicious start to the season. Jace Roberts is apologising for being late to his nightly AA meeting. Congratulations, Jason. I think you're nearly going to get your 10-show chip at this point, so well in, buddy. Luke's going 4-1. Harry's going 2-0. Valga Gray's going for 3-0. Bullet 60-60. I'm got fun on balls out here. I'm loving this. 5-0 Cash. I mean, I'm having a bit of 5-0 if I'm being honest. I'm all over that.
That would be lovely. I think it might sound a bit like premature to say, but you can't underestimate the value of goal difference even at this very early part of the season. There are going to be more difficult runs of fixtures to come, and I think we're all realistic enough to know that we have been given a reasonably kind fixture list to begin the season. Now you've still got to go on and win those games, but if you can do that and rack up a decent goal difference in the meantime, that would be fantastic. I think the question, whether it's 5-0 or 4-0 or 3-0, it'll boil down to largely motivation, I would say, of the players. Do they race into a 3-0 lead and switch off and start to relax? Or do they just go for broke and try and absolutely annihilate the opposition? Because if they do the latter, if they go for broke and just, attack in waves as they're capable of doing, there's absolutely no way, there's absolutely every possibility that we could score 5 or 6 past Brighton. Because we beat them 4-0 on the last game of the season. With relative ease, we could have scored more. The team is arguably more dynamic now than it was then. We were preparing for the Champions League final. There was an element of that involved. So, when you consider all of those things, and the fact that Brighton are going to be without Lewis Dunk, who is their best defender, arguably, because he's injured, there's every reason to think, well, we could definitely score 4 or 5 against these. However, I think the key will lie in the motivation. Are the players motivated to do that? And I think it ties in perfectly with your comments on team selection, which we're going to debate in due course. I think the players should be motivated to do that because there are 4, 5, 6 players that are totally capable of coming in from the wings and being excellent. So I think the motivation should be at an all-time high, really.
Absolutely. There's definitely pressure on every single one of the... Well, maybe bar Alisson, if we're being honest. There's pressure on every single other player on that field for their jersey. Cash, I like a bet. I usually put one on around Liverpool for every weekend. So what I've gone for, I've stuck €50 on a Mo Salah brace. That's what I've gone for this weekend. 3-1 as well, which I was really happy with. But yeah, €50 on a Mo Salah brace. I reckon that he's due a couple. I reckon he's a little bit frustrated at last week.
Yeah, he obviously I was away. I saw the highlights. I watched the highlights back. I didn't see the full match, but what I gleaned from reading about the game was that Mo Salah obviously was brilliant positionally. He was brilliant in terms of his level of excitement, but just the final touch was lacking. And he didn't have his best game in that respect. So you're right insofar as he will try and rectify that. There's no doubt about it. And also, it's just an eminently exciting game for your strikers. Like if you're Firmino, although I think Firmino's actually been a little bit slow to start the season, if truth be told. If you're Firmino, Salah, and Sadio Mane, who has actually started the season the best of the 3, you're licking your lips at the prospect of that game because, with all due respect to Brighton, whose season won't be determined by games like this anyway. But with all due respect to Brighton, they're no match for us. And players of Mo Salah's caliber will be looking to score and looking to score more than once. There's also the thing of Mo Salah will be acutely aware of the fact that Sergio Aguero has already scored a hat-trick. If not more than... Did he score in the game against... their first game of the season against...
I don't think he did because I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I know Sterling scored. I remember that one. No, Sterling and Bernardo Silva, I think, wasn't it?
Bernardo Silva scored their second. You're right. Actually, I remember that was a great goal. So but notwithstanding that, Salah will be acutely aware of the fact that Aguero's already on 3 goals. Harry Kane has broken his weird record of not scoring in August. So you're in that position where Salah will be looking to score. Yeah, he did. He scored obviously in the first game against West Ham, but he will be looking to have that one game barren spell be over.
So there you go. Cash is going for a Salah hat-trick, everybody. You heard it here first. Salah hat-trick tomorrow.
Yeah.
Paul Turner's gone 3-0. Copite 96 gone 7-0. Balls out there. Do you know what? Someone is getting a spanking this year, though, to be fair. Somebody really is going to get a kicking by this Liverpool team this year. Imran's gone 7-0 as well. Jace has gone 5-0 with Salah to put away some chances. He's been a bit out of sorts despite being dangerous. He's going to punish Brighton tomorrow. I think that's the feeling, Cash, around a lot of people, and you touched on Firmino there as well. We've been scoring goals, yeah. Look, we scored 4 in the last game, 2 in the first game, 6 with none conceded, but you still get the feeling there is at least another 30 or 40% to come from that front three.
Well, yeah, I think I think I absolutely agree with that. I think you would argue weirdly that the parts of the team that have clicked and look clearly like they've clicked already are the defence, the midfield and the keeper, which is so weird because it's a marked contrast to what it's been previously, when there's been occasions where you would argue that the only part of the team that is clicking properly is the strike force. So it is an odd dynamic. But what I think is refreshing is that the best teams, well, they always say anyway, the best teams find a way to win regardless. They find a way to win in different ways, if you like. So there's nothing wrong with the strikers not being completely in tandem with each other and having that scintillating chemistry, so long as the team are still winning games. Okay, it's a small sample size, but 2 games, 2 victories. So the team are still winning games, and you would argue, what is going to happen when the strike force actually really does click in to its full capacity? Now, this is not me saying the strikers have been utterly abject so far. Obviously not. All I would venture is that I think maybe it's the fact that the other areas of the team are clicking really well. Maybe it's just demonstrating that the strike force isn't quite at its level that it was last season. But as I said, it's nice for the pressure to be taken off them in the sense that they don't have to click to that optimum level to win games anymore. It would be nice if they did, but if they don't, we've got other ways, and I think that's important.
Big fucking problem for Jurgen Klopp this season, Cash, and it's a beautiful headache, guys, for us to have, and I want to know your thoughts on this as well, so please do let me know in the chat. Midfield options. What a headache Jurgen Klopp has here, because how do you remove James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum and Naby Keita when they've been absolutely scintillating in the first 2 games? None of those dudes deserve to lose their shirt. So Jurgen Klopp's coming in, and now we've got Jordan Henderson coming back, who, by the way, guys, I believe will start tomorrow. Just a guess, no team news here. For Cash, for you, for that midfield area tomorrow, what are you expecting, and do you think he may start the rotation this early in the season?
I mean, well, what I think is interesting is that, firstly, I don't think he expected James Milner to be quite so good. Not because he doesn't believe in him or anything like that, but I just don't think he expected him to be so incredibly dynamic. So I think what has happened is that he's now in a position where Keita goes into the team. I think Keita's in your best midfield 3 no matter who you field. Then obviously Wijnaldum, I think, has been worked with since the beginning of pre-season to make him very ready, or to make him ready for this specific tailor-made role at the base of the midfield. So then you've got one space left. James Milner's form is a headache. Jordan Henderson did have a big World Cup with England, so I think there's no real rush to oust a player who's playing brilliantly to replace him with a player who, probably still does need rest. Let's be honest. That 3-week gap, it's not a lot. Yes, we all know Jordan Henderson's like a fitness freak and an addict and so on. But I think it's a nice situation that the midfielders that have had the most intensive pre-season are the ones that are playing, and the ones that are playing well. Because firstly, it vindicates Klopp's approach to field those 3 players. And secondly, it doesn't rush Henderson back, from what was an onerous summer. And it doesn't rush Fabinho to acclimatise before he's actually ready to, and it doesn't open him up to being criticised if he doesn't do it immediately. And you saw that in the pre-season where Fabinho had a game that was not terrible by any means, but he wasn't amazing. And the result was that people were already criticising him, and it was like, Fabinho has been there for like 5 seconds. So I think, firstly, the midfield three shouldn't be changed. I don't know if I agree with you that Jordan Henderson will start tomorrow. I've got a funny feeling he might keep it as it is. I don't know. Just a guess. But it's great that those players are entirely vindicating Klopp's approach. And I think it's so much more strategic than we realise. I think they're looking at Jordan Henderson's summer. They're looking at Fabinho's adaptation period. And then they're obviously looking at Lallana more as a third backup. You know, so for me, it's a great headache to have. And it is up to the players to prove that they're worth that shirt. I mean, I think for Fabinho particularly, when he came into the club, he would have known the extent of competition for places before signing. And it's just something that we've all got to embrace.
Absolutely. I just want to jump back into the comments. I sent you a message there, actually. This is the beauty of being live. I sent it through WhatsApp, so have a quick look at that for me. 6-0. Malgus has gone 6-0, which I'm absolutely all over. I'm loving this as well. I want to see Alisson tested tomorrow, says Gareth Phillips. I don't. Gareth? No, I don't. I want them to have fucking nothing to do except maybe wave at the guys as they're banging in numbers 5, 6 and 7 for the night. Other than that, I don't want them to have anything to do. What else have we got? I want to see Alisson tested now. Up the Celtic, said Tony. Fair enough. I see there was Celtic Fan TV in the chat there. No problem whatsoever. Although, you know, they were trying to be a smart arse. But anyway, fuck them. Congratulations, Robert. What else have we got? Would love to see Keita score tomorrow. Now that is something that I would love to see, my friends. I would absolutely love to see Naby Keita bang one in. And it's something that I've seen a lot of people wishing this week as well. And something that I feel a lot of people think is actually going to come. But for you, Cash, been impressed with Naby Keita so far this season?
Yeah, he's been great. I think he's been everything that we thought he would be and more. He is... Yeah, he's just everything that he promised at Leipzig, but with the additional benefit of the fact that he's clearly happy at the club he's at and he wants to be there and he's thriving. So, yeah, he has really impressed me. But a goal would really cap that impressive beginning for him because, firstly, I want to see how much Sadio would celebrate, and secondly, we just need more goals from midfield.
Absolutely. I see Mr. Celtic Fan TV was talking shit. Guys, don't worry about him. You know my thoughts to this. Fuck him. Which is what I say to anybody that comes on here and talks shit to us about any of our people that are on the pods or on the shows. Fuck him, fuck him, fuck him. Don't even give him a time of day, guys. Just kick him out and we move on. What else we got? Craig, how's this for a team? And I'm going to go with you, Gary, here. I do like to look at this team, mate, so bear with me here. Alisson, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. And then a midfield of Keita, Fabinho, Milner. Striker, Salah, Mane, Firmino, subs, Sturridge, Matip, Hendo, Lallana, Mignolet, Solanke. Now that's a strong looking squad, man. That is a strong looking squad. Now this is where the big conversation points are, guys. Who starts tomorrow? A lot of people seem to think that maybe we're going to see Daniel Sturridge starting up top. I'm unsure. I think that Jurgen Klopp might want Firmino to play himself into form before the international break. For you, Cash, do you think we're going to see Bobby tomorrow, or do you think maybe Sturridge gets a run out?
Well, it's a weird one because actually you would never have said last season Sturridge probably deserves a start ahead of Bobby on the current form. That's something that we would never have said, but I think at this minute in time, he's not been bad by any means, but he's certainly not shown the exact level of form he did last season, Firmino. So, you know, there is an argument to say that Sturridge does deserve a chance to continue his momentum from his pre-season. But I also agree with you. It's a winning formula, and I just don't think Klopp's going to change it. He is a big fan of the power of the collective over the individual, and no matter whether Bobby's playing super well or not, I think he's going to be like, well, he's still part of the first choice 11 that are winning me these games, so I'm going to keep him.
Guys, you know what I don't like? This is what worries me, and it's a silly thing, and I probably shouldn't be, but I was looking through our fixtures, and I could be wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, I think our next two games after this are both 12:30 PM Saturday morning kickoffs. I say morning. Most people probably say afternoon, but for me it's morning. Does that worry you at all, Cash? Because I've got to be honest, I don't remember us having very good results at half 12 kickoffs.
Yeah, there is a bit of a taboo about that, and I think Jurgen Klopp has brought it up in terms of, like, not slagging off the fans, but sort of saying that they could have more exuberance at that time of the day. However, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it worries me, but I would rather we didn't play our games at that time. Basically, I think the Leicester one definitely is, and I can't remember if the one after that is as well.
Spurs.
But yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'd rather have a 3 p.m. or a 5:30, but we're at the mercy of the TV companies, and so you just gotta like pander to what they want, unfortunately. However,
particularly though, Cash,
yeah,
dragging people down to London for a 12:30 kickoff.
Well, yeah, that is fucking ridiculous. I mean, what it does inevitably is it makes people have to stay overnight the night before. Have you tried getting to Liverpool, from Liverpool to London before 12 o'clock on a Saturday, particularly because there's one train every hour? No, it's not going to work. So it does force people's hand. And, we've got to consider that this is a game that's meant to be financially accessible to all. So not only have you got your ticket, you've got your stay, you've got your travel. It is difficult. I think, like you say, it makes it unfair on people. But as we know, there was genuine talk last year that they were going to schedule the Liverpool-Arsenal game for like the 23rd, was it, or something, of December. And the TV companies clearly just didn't give a shit. So yeah, I think it is a massive issue, obviously, but once again, you just have to believe in the team, and the team have to play at the times that they're slotted to play, and that's it.
So guys, for you, any surprises in the team selection tomorrow? I know a lot of people are going to want Fabinho to play. I can already feel, I can see it going to come in the chat, but I don't think we're going to see him yet, guys. I was always worried that we'd hold him back, but somebody made a really good point on a stream yesterday where they said that either we may see him for the third round of the League Cup after the international break, or perhaps we may even hold him back until the Champions League starts. And I know that sounds like a really long time away, but think about this. Think about what happened with Andy Robertson when he came in. Think about what happened with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And those guys were used to English football. And we've still seen the gaffer keep them back. We've still seen Kloppo keep them back till he felt they were 100% set up and ready to go. For you, when are you expecting to see Fabinho introduced from the starting 11, Cash?
Well, it's interesting because I think it's bizarre. He could actually go off on Brazil duty, having been selected for the Brazil squad, presumably on the basis of, his move to Liverpool and performances last season. But he could go off to that camp, having not played any competitive minutes for Liverpool, which is bizarre, really, when you think about it. Yeah, so I think it's... I've got a funny feeling that we might see him make a substitute appearance tomorrow. But I don't see him coming in to the starting 11. It's hard to say when, because I think it may well be a case of when one of the other midfielders is not good or doesn't have a good couple of games or is injured, unfortunately, or whatever. I don't really see a precise in for him at this moment in time. So yeah, it may well be a case of the League Cup. It may well be a case of Champions League. It may well be a case of behind the scenes him being told, we believe in you, we rate you, but you just got to take your time. And I think that's what will happen. So I couldn't put a definitive date on it, to be honest.
I see a couple of people in the chat thinking that Van Dijk's going to score tomorrow. Well, you'll be happy to know that I've kept my word. I've stuck my fiver on him again to score a header. And I'm going to stick a fiver on him to score a header every single week until he scores that header. So you have my word on that, guys. Every single week I'm going to be backing him to score a header. Play hard, get a hard, said like my name, Craig. Absolutely, mate. I do. Why 7 dislikes, he said, because there's 7 people out there who don't know quality when they see it clearly. I mean, or just 7 people that were jealous because they can't come into the chat because they've been booted out for some reason or another. But either way, what's important is not the 7 people that dislike the stream, because I've no doubt that'll go up to 10, 11, 12. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. What's important to us is you guys, the people that are here, making these lovely comments, coming in, giving us suggestions for things to talk about. What else have we got here? We're going to thump Brighton 9-0, Robbie. Well in, sir. Well in. Cash, we were only saying the other day, do you remember the good old days where you used to go down and beat Crystal Palace 9-0? Back when men were men.
Back when men were men. God, I don't know. I don't really feel like you beat teams in the Premier League 9-0 anymore. I feel like there's almost become this thing of like, if you're beating them by too many goals, you just switch off out of respect. But yeah, that would be nice. It would be nice to like hammer a team like Besiktas style in the Champions League, like 8-0, Maribor style. We haven't really done that in the Premier League very much. That would be quite nice.
We're up to 13 dislikes. Fuck it. Let's see if we can get 100. Let's reverse this shit around. Let's see if we can get 100 dislikes. If there's 100 cunts out there that dislike this bald idiot or this beautiful lady on the other end of the phone, then smash that fucking dislike button, guys. Come on, let us know we're in your heads. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I want to know if you don't like me.
It's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. Let the haters come. They're welcome to come and bask in the glory of Liverpool Football Club and our beautiful, beautiful supporters. I reckon they could be just salty fans, to be fair, from other clubs as well. Maybe the Brighton guys are out in force tonight. Maybe they're looking, seeing the stream and just thinking, fuck, we have to play these guys tomorrow. We're in for some kicking. Monique said, love the thumbnail, Craig, thank you. But I've got to be honest, it wasn't me. It was the genius that is Connor, putting that hard work in, making that thumbnail. I'm not talented enough to make that at all. Firmino looks a little tired to me. He struggled at the end of the Palace game, said Luke. He doesn't look the same player, I have to say. It's far too early in the season to say anything negative about Firmino. He didn't play too much in the World Cup, so you'd imagine that maybe fatigue isn't something that he should be suffering with. But at the same time, even a 70% Firmino cash is still a damn good footballer.
Well, that's it. I think you make an interesting point there about Firmino not playing much of the World Cup, and could it be a fatigue issue? Could the fact that he didn't play much of the World Cup be part of the problem? You know, could there be an element of his confidence being slightly affected by the fact that a very average Jesus was in ahead of him in every game? You know, I think footballers are human beings, and there may well be a case of a bit of a residual hangover from that. You might be looking back and thinking, what if I'd been more involved? What if I played more? Would the country have done better? Etc. and so on. You know, and that player comes back to us and we have to look after him because we're all lauding him last season when he's fantastic. So we should give him patience this year when he's not quite yet, because the thing that you get with Firmino is, even if it's not all going well for him, his work rate is unaffected. Like, he's still buzzing around. He's still very integral to what we're doing.
He's a fucking pain in the arse if you're a defender as well.
Well, exactly. So he doesn't need to be individually brilliant to be brilliant for the team. So I think people need to look at that and make sure that they're looking at that in the right way, because his quality is such that he will have, he will have stronger spells in the season, but it's their job as a fan base and the club's job as a club and as a nurturing body to coax him back to that. And I have no doubt that it'll come. But you're right. I do think there's an element of there's definitely something not quite there.
Will said, you know what'll happen, Craig? Van Dijk will eventually score, but it'll be a tap in from a corner, not a header. I've said that to myself as well, Will. You're spot on. What I imagine that scenario being is Van Dijk going up for a header, and it kind of some collision, and it just bounces down off the keeper, and as you said, he just tapped it in from 2 yards, and I have that kind of happy, sad feeling in one go. But I think you're spot on, Will. That is exactly what'll happen. Not my luck, that's what'll happen. Louis said, and that's my fucking luck, Cash. But you know what? It's still Liverpool would have scored, so
lose the method. That'll be shit.
Yeah, that's true. And the worst one is, by the way, is if you have say Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals and they win 2-0 or something. They're the worst ones to take because you've still got the results right. But anyway, Louis said, Craig, what's your thoughts about the guy related to the Manchester City owner who put in a bid for Liverpool but FSG rejected it? I was wondering how long we were going to get to go before we talked about this one, guys. It's a really fascinating story, this one. So, like you guys, when we finished the stream last night, because this broke pretty much when we were halfway through the stream, I did have a little read about it. I looked on the Mail, looked on the Mirror, tried to do a bit of research on it myself. And what I can gauge, Cash, is, as rightly pointed out there by Louis, it was the cousin of the guy that owns Manchester City. I believe he's nowhere near as wealthy as that gentleman, but I believe he had backing from a hedge fund and I think some Chinese money as well, if memory serves. And the figure being mentioned here, Cash, was £2 billion fucking pound. £2 billion, and it was still batted away by our owners.
Well, I don't know the exact ins and outs of it in terms of our owner's mindset on the matter, but if the club don't want to obviously sell their shares, or they don't want to sell part of their club, then that's good. I personally think we're in good hands with FSG. Like, I really don't know what detractors can say at this point. Like, we're in the best state we've been financially in a long time, and this is a club that we're close to administration in 2010. So it's sorry, not in 2010. Was it 2010?
This is their 8th year. No, you're right. This is the 8th year. We're going in, well, October, I think, is the 8th year that they bought the club, or they've
Yeah.
started
So
the club.
I feel like I don't know the full ins and outs of the story. Obviously, it emerged when I was just coming back, but my feeling is very much that the right financial decisions are finally being made at this club. You can see that. So let's just see how it plays out. And as you said, this guy obviously isn't nearly as wealthy as the person he's being compared to, who is obviously related to him. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I would probably need to read around the issue more to get a better understanding of it, if I'm honest.
What seems to be certain here, guys, is that the owners are willing to take in some type of a cash injection or a minority, sell a minority stake in the club. But what seems to be just as important to the owners, as the money coming in, is the connections, or what markets perhaps, or how beneficial this can be to them, their brand, Liverpool's brand, in emerging markets, or what this new investor can bring that isn't just simply money cash. And that's something that I think FSG have been amazing at, creating our brand awareness, getting us into new markets. Look at the deal with Standard Chartered, getting us into that Asian market as well. Now obviously the North American market and things like that. They're very clever. They know what they're at, and I fully trust them to run this club properly. If they sell up in the future, so be it. That's their prerogative. But as things stand, they're not milking us dry. They ain't taking out cash, and we're on a pretty strong footing.
I think what's interesting about football club ownership is that it is possible for club owners to be businessmen and to be influenced by business and business needs and desires, but also not be arseholes. Like, you can do both. Look, they're not Scousers, they're not born and bred Liverpool fans, they're not anyone who's had a vested interest in Liverpool prior to purchasing the club. We all know that. It is viewed as a business entity, but that doesn't mean that they cannot make the right decisions in the best interests of the club, and it doesn't mean that they're complete bellends because they're not Liverpool fans and therefore aren't going to be perceived as having the club's best interest at heart. I actually think you can be businessmen but also have the best interests of the club at heart. So you're right. If they sell up in the future, fine. If they want to have external investment but not absolve control of the club, great. I think they have made excellent financial decisions from start to finish in terms of how the club is run. I don't actually think I can recall a decision where they've really fucking dropped the ball. Can you?
No, they've made a few faux pas, if you want to say that, particularly around the fans, ticket price and things like that.
Sorry, I was going to say that with the walkout against Sunderland. Sorry, that was the one mistake that they did make, actually. And they
the way they fired Kenny as well, let's be honest. They could have done that a lot better than the way they handled the Kenny Dalglish sacking could have been done a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. Sorry, those are the two high-profile mistakes that they've made. But what I would say is, in the period intervening between that, which was 2016, that was, I think, between that and now, you would argue that they have not made any mistakes of that higher profile. What I would say is that there have been mistakes made, but crucially lessons learned from those mistakes. And so I would retract my earlier statement of saying they've made no mistakes that I can recall. I would say they have made mistakes, but crucially they have learned lessons. That doesn't mean that I think that their ultimate business objective underlying their ownership of the club has gone away. I think they're still hugely influenced by money and domination and whatever, but they still are making good decisions for the club. And as long as that remains the case, I will support whatever decisions they make in respect of that.
For me, guys, I think they finally have a manager in place that they feel so comfortable with and they trust to basically run the football inside of things. They trust them to get in the right players. They're backing them financially, as you can see. So from that aspect, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. A couple of people as well are pointing out that they are willing to take in some investment, as we spoke about a few minutes ago. Let's see how this one pans out. We're in no rush. Things are going well. The window's closed anyway, so whatever income may or may not come in is not going to affect the transfer window. Match of the Day says, why 28 dislikes? Brighton fans are in tonight. Let's go for 100. As I said, fuck it, let's go for 100. Let's see if we can get 100 and 100. I don't give a shit if we have 10,000 dislikes. I keep saying it. It means nothing to me other than we're in people's heads, and that is a beautiful thing. So to those 28 dislikers, or maybe 40, 50 at this point, thank you. Thank you for letting us know that we're in your head. It means a lot to us. And what else have we got? Louis, you made me laugh, buddy. I was reading your comment. It said, there are rumours, Craig, that FSG are open to offers that will benefit the club. For example, and this is the part that made me laugh, the transfer burger and training facilities. I was just thinking to myself, what would a transfer burger look like? A transfer burger. That's definitely one they could be selling in the shop, though. You may have just given Liverpool Football Club an idea there, Louis. You go into the main stand, or you go in to get yourself a bite to eat at half time, and then all of a sudden you're having a transfer burger.
Sorry, pardon me, I don't know what happened there.
Could be a vegetarian option as well. You could be on the sly. You could be going in for your transfer burger thinking you're getting meat, and you could be getting a Linda McCartney special.
I like the Linda McCartney food, to be fair. I think it's really nice. Am I going to like incite the hatred of the 28 dislikers who are all carnivores?
Oh, that'll be well up by now, Cash. Don't you worry about it. 28 was only the starting point.
Oh well, do whatever. Like you say, fuck him.
Fuck him indeed. It's beautiful. None of this shit bothers me in the slightest. That's what I find hilarious about it. All that does, I keep saying, all people dislike and lets us know is, one, they're either scared of us, two, we're in their head, and there's gonna be a few people who think what we're doing is shit, but also to them, fuck them, doesn't matter. Evening, Craig and people. I'm going to the match tomorrow. Lower Centenary. Good test for us with Brighton playing so well against the Manx. Come on, the Red, said Michael Marnie. Nice one, Michael. Have a good one, buddy. I'm delighted to see you're going. I think there's a few more people. I think Ant might be going as well, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, enjoy it, mate. Have a good one on it. I hope you see a half full of goals. And I hope you get the weather as well. Dirty Girl is in the building. You'll be delighted, Dirty Girl, because every night this week, Dirty Girl's been asking me, is Cash coming on? Or is Connor coming on? Is somebody else coming on? Just for you, Dirty Girl, here's Connor. No, Cash.
Sorry, I'm not Connor. If that's who you were expecting, I'm sorry.
I know. I'm just so used to saying any old name with a C because there's so many of us.
It doesn't help that a lot of our names begin with C as well.
That's what I was saying. There's Cash, Connor, Craig, Charlie, Chris. Who else have we got? There was more C's as well, wasn't there? A transfer burger and a diet chav, Lou back. That is it. That's the dream combination. That's a meal deal and a half right there, isn't it? A transfer burger and a diet chav.
My God, a diet chav. I've got a can of diet chav here, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's nice because whenever I was away, it was just Diet Coke, but now it's Diet Chav again, and I do enjoy that.
I dare go into the shop the next time and ask for it. Or are we getting a takeaway or something? You know, you get a meal deal, you get a curry or something, you get a can with it, and they ask you what can you want. Say Diet Chav. Go on, let's get this thing going.
That would be an amazing hook, wouldn't it? Just like, you know, who are you? Well, we founded Diet Chav.
Hey, and Diet Chav Energy is coming out as well, as I said. What else have we got? 51 likes and 31 dislikes. We're number one. We're number one. That is absolutely fucking priceless. The Raptors fired anyway. I mean, the Raptors obviously let a shitload of people out of the basement tonight. He must be having a session or something down there. Just the doors wide open. I could just imagine all these trolls legging out of Raptors gap waving, we're out! Yeah, we're out! Let's get out of here. Where's that thumbs down button? Smash it! Ant, you are going to the game. I was right. He said, I'm off to the match tomorrow. Craig think we'll smash Brighton to bits 5-0. I'm loving the 5-0. Klopp wants 30 Big Macs in the deal for Fekir, said Thomas. If Klopp wants 30 Big Macs, then 30 Big Macs Jurgen Klopp shall have, my friend.
Imagine getting to feed Jurgen Klopp Big Macs.
Just so you'd have to be like, you'd have to be kind of like, you know, the grapes, you know, those kind of old Roman times where you're holding the grapes over them. You'd have to be like waving the Big Mac over a Klopp and just like dropping beef patties on him.
Oh, I think he'd love it.
I'd say he loves the pickles as well. Do you know that? I'd say he loves the gherkins.
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, I think my dream in life is, you know, when you saw Jurgen Klopp singing with that group of Liverpool fans after the Champions League final when he was like fucking wrecked. Like, my dream is to have that kind of encounter with Jurgen Klopp and to potentially end the night feeding him a beef burger.
Yeah, that could happen. Cash, never say never. I
Well,
live in
yeah,
England.
more
What is a
power
diet
and
chav? Says Nick. Nick, mate, you don't know what diet chav is. I assume you've heard of Red Bull. If you've heard of Red Bull, then you should know what a diet chav is, Nick. Come on, get with the program, Nick. Google it. Does Pepsi count as diet chav, or does diet Pepsi count? Absolutely not. How dare you even ask that question on this stream? Does diet Pepsi count? Consider yourself lucky you're not getting banned, young man.
yeah, yeah. Sprite's just it's one of God's mistakes.
Lubak said, Craig, once you start your Diet Chava empire, you can buy out FSG. Maybe I can become that minority shareholder that you're talking about. Jace wants to know, what's with all this weird Klopp Gherkin sex talk? Jace, it's Friday night, mate. You never know what can happen on a Friday night. Things can get a bit weird in here.
Can I make the point that if you do overtake FSG and you buy them out using your Diet Chav Empire money, can your first line of action be sacking John Achterberg?
Oh no, him and Mignolet are definitely getting called to my office for a meeting. Definitely.
Looks like Mignolet is going to stay now. It looks like Lloris Karius is off.
Yeah, and actually, do you know what? Mighty Red, he's coming into the office as well for a little meeting. Guys,
Yeah.
Cash wanted to have a little chat about the whole issue around the drink driving today, and I keep going to say Loris Karius, but it wasn't Loris Karius, it was Hugo Lloris. It's interesting because these people are high profile footballers, and it doesn't, to me, it's a tough one to gauge, because I don't want to slag off Loris Karius, or Loris Karius, there I go again. I don't want to slag off Hugo Lloris, because, well, look, this is a tricky one for me to go at, actually. What he did was 100% wrong and inexcusable. What Firmino did was 100% wrong and inexcusable, and drink driving cannot be condoned in any way, shape or form. But at what stage does footballers' private lives cross over into football mainstream? I'm a little bit confused at times, Cash.
Well, that's it. I think it's I think there's two issues that people conflate in this respect, and the first is that there's the rights and wrongs of the whole thing, and then there is the level of invasion that happens when someone does a wrong. So, like you said, there's no denying that what he has done is wrong, but is it made better by sensationalizing it and invading his life to such a degree that, you know, just intensifies it and makes it a lot worse? So with this, for example, I just want to get you part of the headline that I saw in one of the tabloids, you know, to describe this. So the first headline reads, Lloris set to lose, in capital letters, Tottenham captaincy with club furious at World Cup star after he was arrested for drink driving after a night out in London. The only thing accurate in that is that he was arrested for drink driving. And that he was a World Cup star. There's nothing accurate about the idea that he's set to lose the captaincy. There is no confirmation of that. So that's the first thing. Then, obviously, he has been, you know, he has apologised. He's done all the things that he has probably been told to do by whoever manages these things at the club. But you've just got to think, yes, he has made a huge mistake, but, you know, I don't know, I just feel like it's so unnecessary, like that level of invasion. Why can't someone just apologise and then not be harangued forever? Because we talk about wanting footballers to feel closer with the fans. We talk about wanting footballers to feel connected with the players, feel connected with the fans. But how can we expect that when, at the absolute slightest thing, this not being a slight thing, but at the slightest thing, whatever it is, it's commented upon? Like, for example, that Raheem Sterling gun tattoo. What was the... Yes, I don't think it's a nice tattoo. The amount of abuse he got for that was so unnecessary and so totally related to the tabloids' issues against Raheem Sterling to do with primarily his race, I think. But you have a situation where you're expecting that same player to engage with fans. You're expecting Hugo Lloris to be a model player to engage with fans, but then to also have to deal with this on the other hand. And that doesn't negate that what he did was wrong.
Do you know what I'd love to see, Cash? I'd love to see what would happen if Harry Kane got done for drink driving. I would fucking love to see what would happen there.
I think the interesting thing about the Lloris case, and obviously not taking it, not taking it away from Liverpool for too long, but I think the interesting thing about the Lloris case is that he is perceived as a nice guy in football. There's even references in the articles to things like he is a family man, he keeps himself to himself off the pitch, and so on. So that's what makes this interesting, is that he's being slammed. Now, if we're to contrast him with Kane, the only difference between Kane and that example that I've just given with Lloris is that Kane is English, and therefore I think certain media outlets are up his arse. And as a result, if he was to do something like that, it would be very much like, okay, well, it is wrong, but it's Harry Kane, so let's all let bygones be bygones, and let's just accept that boys will be boys and make mistakes. So I do think that the morality debate, it's not one size fits all. It's one size fits whatever agenda the certain media outlets are trying to peddle.
Of course, you have the jokes already going around saying that Harry Kane's already claimed the points.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's all a bit in bad taste. I mean, the thing with this Hugo Lloris thing is obviously illegal. He could have hurt someone if he crashed.
Look, there's no excuse in it. And same with Bobby Firmino, same with Wayne Rooney. If you're caught drink driving, you deserve whatever the courts decide you deserve, or whatever the fine or the punishment is.
Well, I think Hugo Lloris will take whatever the punishment is, same as Wayne Rooney did. It was a rare moment of grace from Rooney, that apology that he issued, and the fact that he's doing, or that he did his what's the bloody word? What's the
community
word?
Service.
Community service. Sorry. And he, yeah.
I hope he wasn't fucking teaching English to kids or anything, was he?
No, I don't think so, and I don't think he was allowed to do anything with the elderly. Yeah, he was kept away from kids and the elderly for obvious reasons. I think he was put to 10 plants or something. But the point is, whatever punishment is coming to him, both by the club and by the authorities, he'll take it, he'll have to. I just think this whole example raises yet another issue as to the way the media treats certain players, and the issue as to how the media treats players in general in the face of human error, because this is wrong, but it is ultimately a display of fallibility from someone who is a human being. So
exactly,
I do think it's a really, really interesting as to that. And for example, I'll just read just one more excerpt from this supposed piece of journalism. Okay, so where is it? What did he say?
We've seen similar as well with the Ant McPartlin issue. We don't want to get into that. There was mental health issues and stuff along with those, but people aren't infallible, as Cash is saying. We're all human beings. Everybody slips up, fucks up from time to time. And whilst, yes, you do have to face judgment, or you have to face the actions for what you've done, sometimes, while Cash is having a look there for that particular section, sometimes the media just go a bit fucking over the top, don't they? I mean, they're not going to let us know about Johnny from Hull who was done for drink driving.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think it's the argument that because footballers are in the media and some of them have quite exuberant social media accounts, and because they make a lot more money than the average person, obviously, there is just this unbridled right to just completely hang them out to dry when they commit any type of error. So it's wrong. And so, for example, the one of the in bold taglines from this piece in the Daily Field was, his fingerprints and DNA were taken before he was thrown in police cell. That is just unnecessary language. That's not a description of the facts. That's not a good description of the facts. That is just a sensationalist piece of nonsense.
Cash, I read an article yesterday, on something pretty important to do with football, and there was four errors in the one fucking article. 4. Jesus. And I mean spelling errors, grammatical errors, really basic errors. But look, guys, I want to bring this back towards Liverpool. There is something semi-serious I have to say, and it's not like me to say this, but I feel like we're a Liverpool show, and we're here to talk about Liverpool news, and this is Liverpool news. So Daniel Sciuso has been jailed for 2.5 years following violence that took place before the Roma game against Liverpool for the Champions League semi-final outside of Anfield. It's important to point out that this wasn't directly related to the incident that seriously injured Irish Liverpool fan Sean Cox, and Philippe Lombardi will face trial later in the year, and one of his counts, I believe, does relate to the issue with Sean Cox. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So one of the people involved in the fracas or the fights outside of Anfield, has been jailed for 2.5 years today. Daniel Sciuso, but I also have to stress that he wasn't responsible for the attack on Sean Cox. He didn't assault Sean Cox, so that the guy who's involved in that, I think Philippe Lombardi, I think his name is, will face trial later on in the year. So again, not happy news, but news that I want to bring to you guys anyway. Cash, you must be getting fucking tired. You're only back today as well, aren't you? And you're already on here an hour. What time today is it? 11 o'clock. How are you holding up?
Yeah, I can stay on for a little bit longer.
Coolio. What about Chav Zero? Said Stephen Richards. We did, but we're just going to call that Man United. What else have we got here? Klopp loves Achterberg. He does, as does most of the other managers he's worked with. Nobody has ever said anything but good things about him, which is nuts. So the transfer window, guys. It looks like the deal for Divock Origi to go to Borussia Dortmund is, as we stand, not happening. Which looks like it might send Dominic Solanke out on loan. So what do you guys think about this one? The window's still open till the 31st in Germany, so there's still time for that deal to happen. Or would you rather see Dominic Solanke sent out on loan and Divock Origi kept? I was incorrect when I said that I thought Divock Origi had 1 year left on his contract. He in fact has 2 years left on his contract. So Liverpool aren't in any immediate need to sell. Who would you rather stay at the club this season, guys? Would you rather, Divock Origi stays, or would you rather Dominic Solanke stays? Because it looks like one or the other will be going out on loan, but if it's Divock Origi, Liverpool want to sell for a fee in and around 27 million quid. Cash, for you, who would you rather see stay at the club this season?
Dominic Solanke, without question.
I mean, I have to be honest. I'm thinking if Michael Edwards can get £27 million for Divock Origi, I mean, we have to start building the fucking statue already. We just have to, like.
Well, that's it. I think, if you contrast what he's doing versus what Ed Woodward is doing over the road, it's like chalk and cheese. But yeah, there's not even been like a flicker of selling Solanke, so it would be a loan deal for him. What I would say is that, if you get a good loan deal for Solanke and a good permanent offer for Origi, I would take the permanent offer over the loan offer. But that being said, even if we did that, I still, with Origi off the books, that doesn't really affect Solanke's standing because his passage to the first team squad is not affected by Origi because he's not in the picture at all. So I think regardless of what happens with Origi, Solanke probably will struggle to get games this season. But obviously, if Origi does leave, Klopp might consider himself a bit short.
The problem I might see though for Solanke, Cash, is as you said, Origi has no future at the club. It's only a matter of time when Divock Origi leaves, whether it's this season or next season. But if Dominic Solanke goes out on loan and he goes out on loan for the entire season, and then young Ryan Brewster gets back fit, gets into the squad in and around Christmas time, just say when the fixtures are piling up, bags himself a couple of goals, becomes a crowd favourite, hits the ground running, then pressure is on Dominic Solanke then.
But do you really see a scenario where that happens? Because I think this pre-season this pre-season and his overall regression has just really reinforced the idea that, God, this player just on no level is going to be good enough. It's a shame because at a certain point Origi did show a lot of promise, but you'd have to argue that is so far in the past now that it
No, I'm saying like... Ryan Brewster comes back in and around Christmas, comes back to fitness and comes in and around Christmas and hits the ground running with a few goals.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry. Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think there is an element of that because Dominic Solanke at this moment occupies the player at the club who is young, hungry, unproven, but with bags of potential. If Ryan Brewster would come in and put pressure on him, Ryan Brewster could very much occupy that capacity at the club, and there probably is only room for one player of that mould within the first team setup. So particularly, in the striking positions. So yeah, you're right. I think if he was to come in and really demonstrably show more quality than Solanke, then yeah, you would say January you'd be looking for a loan move. But do I think he'd sanction one now? No, probably not.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Ryan Brewster, I have to say. I was really happy to see him signing a new deal. But I do want to go back to what I was talking about here. I want to go back to Origi, Solanke, and I want to read through some of the comments. By the way, most of the comments, guys, if I'm being honest, are all pro Solanke. I won't say anti-Divock Origi, that's not the correct phrase, but a lot of people are hoping that Solanke gets the nod and gets to stay because they believe he has a better future at the club. Tony said, Solanke, we only got him 2 seasons ago, it's early doors. Well, both Origi and Solanke are championship level in my eyes, but we have Sturridge and Brewster, so let's pray they keep fit, said Lubac. What else have we got here? Solanke, because he personally he's more confident on the ball and can put it in the back of the net. Scored some lovely goals last season, says James Fullen. Who else have we got? As he said, Solanke has a future here. Short-term loan could suit him, maybe till January while Sturridge is fit, which is a good point. And I had seen something maybe along those lines that it could well just be a short loan if we're going to send Dominic Solanke out, and that may make some sense, to be fair. I think he does have a future at the club though, Cash. I really do. It's far too early for me to be writing off Dominic Solanke in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like, obviously, you've not been his biggest fan on certain occasions, particularly last season, but you know, there's definitely a gem of a player in there. I think he, you know, just so happens to be behind one of the best strike forces, you know, in the world. And that's okay. You know, that's okay at his age. That's okay. Because unlike when he was at Chelsea, there is a tangible path to the first team, despite the fact that he's got this amazing trio in front of him. What I would say is that with a loan deal with him, more so than most of the other players we've got out on loan, because I think he does genuinely have a future in the first team, potentially, I would really be invested in what club he goes to. It can't just be stick him up in Rangers and hope Steven Gerrard works his magic. It's got to be more thought out than that. It's got to be a loan that will genuinely benefit him with the idea of coming back and making a palpable impact at the club. It's not a loan designed for any other reason. So that's what I would say. I agree with you. A loan may well be the best course of action at some stage, but more so than most other players, his loan destination really needs to be thought out.
That's a very good point. Mega Donkey asks, is anybody worried about the African Nations Cup? That's been moved, mate. That's no longer on in December, January time. That's now a summer tournament, thankfully. So it won't affect us like it has in previous seasons, which is, you know, great news all around, particularly with the African contingent that we have at the club now, Cash.
Yeah, man, we'd be taking the absolute heart out of our team.
There'd be no way they'd be taking Naby Keita off me. I'd fucking chain myself to Naby Keita if I had to.
I think we're very lucky in the sense that, you know, this might sound harsh, but Naby Keita is from a country that's very unlikely to ever qualify for a World Cup. You know, so I think that's a very good advantage to have. Obviously, Sadio Mane and Mo Salah are slightly different, albeit I think Senegal are the definite strongest country of those three. I think Egypt qualifying for the World Cup was something of an anomaly, and I don't know if it'll happen again for the next one. You know, what you would argue is probably going to be Mo Salah's last, if that's fair. Maybe he'd have one more after that. So, you know, we are lucky in the sense that, firstly, the African Cup of Nations is in the summer now, and secondly, World Cup wise, Baby Keith's not likely to go.
I see somebody in the chat there talking about asking, did Wolves actually go in for Origi? They did, but he had no interest in going to Wolves. I read that today. I think it was in an Echo article. There was genuine interest in Origi from Wolves, but Divock Origi didn't want to go to Wolves for personal reasons. I don't know what those reasons are. Eric Worry said,
I've been to the Black Country because I've been to the Black Country where Wolves is, and I wouldn't want to go.
No, I have to be honest, I haven't. If Ruben Neves settles in okay though, which is really fucking weird for me. That's one of the weirdest moves in the last 10 years.
I actually read an interview with him today, and he has settled in very well. Well, not least in part because there's a huge contingent of Portuguese players, but also they've opened up this coffee shop in Wolverhampton City Centre which is specifically Portuguese.
Nice.
To help them settle. So there you go. That's the reason behind that.
Well in. Nice move. Eric Worry said 5-0 tomorrow. We're going to kick Brighton's arses. Charlie, our very own Charlie as well, has gone 6-0 tomorrow. Mane hat-trick, Salah 1, Firmino 1 and Keita 1. Charlie, mate, I would love your prediction to be true. Except I need Salah to score 2, mate, if that's okay, because if he doesn't, my bet won't come in, and then I'm going to be a little bit sad on here in the post-match stream. Junior said Brewster back around November or December, which is spot on. I believe is spot on.
It is, yeah, December.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see him. There hasn't been this much hype around a young player coming through the ranks at the club since Sterling, and before him probably Gerrard and Michael Owen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was very crucial to the fact that it was very crucial that he signed a new deal, and that also he seemed so happy about signing that new deal. I listened to the interview he did when he did sign that deal, and it was just genuine joy. It was genuine joy from a player who knows how highly rated he is, but who wants to make the right decisions for his career, and who has a family who conveniently are Liverpool fans, but he has a family that are helping him do that. And I think so much of the hype around Rhian Brewster surrounds his ability, but it also surrounds his character. And for me, that's perfect. I like players that have got that element to them. So, yeah, I would love him to make it, because I think that very much shows that the academy still works, and that, well, yeah, that we bring players through and we make them superstars. We would like to have a homegrown striker come through. That would be nice.
It really would. And you're right, our academy has produced a lot of players over the years. I know I mentioned Raheem Sterling there, and clearly I know he didn't come through our academy, but he was a young player when he came to the club, and he moved. His progression was very quick. You could see him at that underage level. He was head and shoulders above everyone else, Cash.
Well, it's a similar progression to Rhian Brewster, insofar as obviously Rhian Brewster came from Chelsea, and again at that sort of 14, 15-year-old age, and it is very much a similar type of thing with Raheem Sterling and Brewster. But what you would say is that Brewster is coming through at a time where it's better to be at Liverpool, in the sense that, when Raheem Sterling came through, I don't think people necessarily always thought, oh, this is going to be a stepping stone for him. But we did think, we were in that period where each summer our best assets were being sought after, and we weren't regular in the Champions League, and all the things that makes the club good now didn't exist then, for me. So Brewster's coming through at a time where he can be made into a superstar in the way that Sterling became, but with the incentive to stay because of the team's success, which wasn't there when Sterling was there. So, obviously we had the near title win, but we didn't win the title. So that's what I mean with lack of success. So yeah, I think there are similarities between the two players, but hopefully, Brewster's less of in terms of the way he goes about leaving the club. If he does leave the club, I'm not saying that he will, but if he ever did, I hope Brewster conducts himself slightly better than Sterling did at certain parts of his Liverpool career. However, both players stacked with quality.
Godfrey reckons 7-0, Salah hat-trick tomorrow. Again, loving that one. Ronald's gone for 4-0 to Liverpool tomorrow. Yassar's gone for 4-0 as well. Love that everybody thinks we're keeping clean sheets. Well in, guys. Love the positivity on that one. If Dominic is loaned out, it has to be to a good club with game time, said Eric. Liverpool should keep their eyes open for quality players, even tap them up, said Dirty Girl. I think that's one thing you will find, that the club are always watching players. Always. Inside, outside transfer window, summer, winter, it doesn't really matter. The scouts are out there, and the scouts have their own scouts, and so on and so forth. It's a very, very wide network. The net cash is cast wide and far these days.
Well, that's it. The scouting network is absolutely extensive, and what's been so good in recent years is that recruitment has very much, it's very much long term. Like, I remember listening to a really good football podcast the other day where one of the commentators or one of the journalists, I can't remember who, basically said recruitment is a long term plan, and anyone who thinks otherwise doesn't run a successful football club. And it's a true point, and part of that long term strategy is having a network far and wide that collate the information, bring the information to you, and constantly try to keep the club moving in a positive direction. So yeah, it is a very, very good thing for the club to be a part of, and for obviously the club to do so well.
Peter Sweeney, mate, good night to you, buddy. Thanks for joining us on the stream. Cash, it's been an hour and 5 minutes. I realise this is probably the longest I've ever kept you on, so I'm gonna let you go and get some rest ahead of work tomorrow, because I know you are working as well in and around the match. Yes. So I'm sure you're going to meet a few more Scandinavians, by the way. I know you said you met 15 today. They always support the Reds in massive numbers.
Oh, big numbers. Oh, sorry.
No, they're fine. They're absolutely brilliant. Like I see when I come over, often you see I come in, and when I come in, I come on buses with Irish fans and stuff on. We always park in and around Stanley Park, and you always see some Scandinavian coaches, a shitload of them over for the games.
Yeah, no, they're big Liverpool fans, and I think it's a complete. It's nice because it's a part of the world that I've never been to and that I ask questions about, and there's no denying it. The thing that opens up that dialogue for me to communicate with these people is football, and that's what's so great about it, and that's what's so great about being a Liverpool fan is that you're a fan of the club, and you get to know other people's cultures and nationalities by virtue of that. And my message would be that if you're a fan who doesn't embrace that possibility, then you're not doing being a football fan right. I think to be a football fan and to get the most of it, you should embrace everyone, and that's what I like about the Scandinavian fans being in Liverpool.
Well in, Cash. Very well said. We'll catch up with you soon, no doubt. You're going to be with us on Sunday, aren't you, for the
Yes,
Council
I'm on the
podcast?
Council podcast, yeah.
Excellent. I will catch up with you then, and thank you so much, Cash, for coming on straight back from your holiday. I really do appreciate it.
Nah, no worries. Thank you very much. And sorry if I was a little bit tired tonight, guys, but it was nice to be on, and I hope everybody listening to the stream enjoyed it.
Don't you ever apologise. You're a superstar. Go on, get some rest.
Right. Good night.
Take
care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
It's just you and me, guys. I'm going to get through your comments now as quick as I can. Great to have Cash back on. Thank you to everybody who had some kind words to say and enjoyed Cash on. To those few assholes that had something smart to say, go fuck yourself is all you got to get from me. I love Cash and I won't have a damn thing said against her any time on here. The girl probably has forgotten more about football than most of us will ever know. She's an absolute superstar and I love her dearly. Liverpool have not conceded at home in the last 6 Premier League games. Clean sheet, said Yasser. What else have we got? Another positive article from the Raptor on the Anfield Agenda website for everybody to check out, said Damo. Brilliant plug, Damo, mate. Well in. You know the Raptor. You guys love the Raptor. Check out his new article. As Damo said, anfieldagenda.com. It is there on the homepage waiting for you to read. There's also a link to it on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account as well, so you can of course go on there and check it out. But we do urge you to go onto the website because there's lots of interesting stuff on there, particularly ahead of the game tomorrow. If you're watching, guys, don't forget we will be doing a live stream of the game tomorrow. When I say live stream, I mean watch along. We're not going to be showing any content of the game. We're not going to be showing video, anything like that, because of course we'd get our asses kicked off YouTube. So if you're interested, if you want to come along, maybe a bit of alternative commentary or just for a bit of fun, either for the whole game, before the game or after, check us out. We'll be live from about 5 PM tomorrow UK time. It'll be myself. I'll be doing the watch along tomorrow. And then of course I'll be doing the Good Cop Bad Cop, which is our post-match show. The reason it's called Good Cop Bad Cop clearly is because don't know what fucking mood we're going to be in. Are we going to be happy? Are we going to be sad? Tomorrow, fingers crossed, we're going to be happy. So hopefully it'll be a bit of good cop, but we hope you can join us for that one as well. If you're watching the stream, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. I know we're on for a record. We're on for a record of thumbs down tonight, which is it's actually made me more happy than I probably should have. A record is a record, so whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's still a record. I'm going to jump straight back into the chat now, guys, but I just wanted to take that minute to say thank you to Cash. I love Cash dearly, as I said. She's an absolute superstar. So thank you to everyone for the kind words there. Van Dijk will be all over Murray. It's so nice, without disrespecting Dejan, Joel and Raggy, that we have a dominant centre-back who's good enough to get into any team in the world, says Jay. It is nice, and you're right, without disrespecting anybody else, mate, it's fucking great. It's great to have that quality, isn't it? You just look at him and you just feel calm, which is brilliant, and he spreads that throughout the team. Solanke will go to Reading. From there, Paul Clement's known him since he was a young lad. Reading lacking gold at the foot of the championship, said Azzy, which is a decent shout, but do we want them at the bottom of the championship? Do we want them at a higher level than that, perhaps? I think he's a little bit better than that level, to be fair. Even at this moment in time, I think he's better than that. Where else? A lot of people saying good night to Cash as well, which is great to see. Thank you guys for showing Cash some love. And where else have we got? Oh, lots and lots of good nights for Cash, actually. So well in, guys. That's really nice of you. Thank you for the kind words there for Cash. Liverpool will have to find a way to break down Brighton's compact lines, as they will not press us at Anfield, maybe Shaqiri. We're going to batter them, mate. It's simple as that. They won't be able to hold their lines. We will get in behind them. Possibly Shaqiri, as you said, he's definitely an option, Jay. Never say never, but I think whoever we have, whatever midfield we go, whatever forward combination Klopp thinks is best, we should be too strong for Brighton tomorrow. With all due respect to Brighton, as I said, I love Brighton as a club, love the manager. Chris Hughton's an absolute gent. Brighton are a team I always do watch out for the results, but of course tomorrow we want to fucking smash them because they're in front of us. But I can't see many issues tomorrow, if I'm being honest. Call me big-headed here, but you know, we should be putting away teams like Brighton at Anfield. Anfield will be buzzing. Allez, allez, allez from Yassar. I couldn't, you know what, I couldn't get enough of that song last year. All the time, gone around me gaff singing it. Absolutely love it. Hugs Craig, says Valga Craig. Thank you. Battery is running low, Craig, so good night to all the Reds if it does, said Joseph. Pineapple on a pizza, Craig, asks Alpha G. Nah, mate, not for me. Not for me. I'm really boring, as I've told you guys before. Ham is probably about as flamboyant as I'm going to go on pizza. Alpha G, mate, but my missus loves it. My missus loves a bit of pineapple on the pizza. She's mad for the goat cheese and the feta and stuff like that as well. But nah, not for me, buddy. But I wouldn't dislike it as much as many people do. Like, I'm not really, you know, pro pineapple or anti pineapple. I'm just not really pro toppings in general. 129 likes, says Jay. We could be reaching 150. And you know what? I've put out one shout out, I think, for likes on this stream. So that's because of you legends that we're on 129. Because of you absolute superstars who look after us. The amazing mods we have in there. The amazing people in the chat watching the stream. Thank you so much. We love the thumbs up, of course. We don't give a fuck about the thumbs down. They can do what they want. They don't even annoy us. It's comedy to us. But to you guys that take the time every night, honestly, guys, thank you so much. I have to say, many of you guys might know that recently I had an issue ordering from the official Liverpool site. I don't know if you guys do know it or not. You'd have to have probably been on Twitter, to be fair, to know it. So basically, here's the long and short of the story. I was ordering kits all summer. I ordered a couple for myself. I ordered one for my son. We had ongoing issues with the delivery of the kits, with the customer service we received as well at times. Anyway, long story short, I got contacted by I got contacted by Peter Moore, actually, to be fair, by email as well. So thank you to Peter Moore. And by Peter Moore, I do mean the chief executive of the football club. So very, very much thank you to him for reaching out. But the guys at Liverpool were really, really good. They actually took the time to listen to what we had to say. And when I say listen to what we had to say, I don't mean in a kind of patronising way. I mean genuinely, they took on board the issues that we experienced and tried to fix them and tried to adjust the system or look into the system to find ways that this could go, like, not happen in the future, which meant more to me than anything else. It really was amazing. But in saying that, we received a gift from the club today, which, you know, it brought a tear to my eye. It was so nice. It was sent for the little dude, for the little man of the house, but it was amazing. I'm just trying to find an image of it here to show you guys. So I'll hold it up to the camera and bear with me. So the club sent me that today for Lucas. A signed Naby Keita shirt, framed, sent over from the UK for the little man as it's just a little small apology for the inconveniences that we had, and that meant a lot. So I just want to say on behalf of myself, my wife and my family, thank you so much to Chris and to Peter and to everybody at the club for listening to us, for addressing our issues, and for sending that over to the young man. It's very much appreciated, and it will of course take pride of place in our sitting room. If nothing else, I fucking love Naby Keita, but Lucas was over the moon. He was running around the sitting. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional here. He was running around the sitting room, and that meant a lot. So thank you so much for that, Peter Moore and Chris Jennings. That was amazing. What else have we got? Should always be happy watching football, said Nick. Absolutely, you've got to be happy watching football, particularly when you're watching the Reds. Jay said, Talk Cash spoke well. Have just followed her on Twitter. Jace, mate, she is an absolute superstar. The problem being, here's what's a little bit confusing to Cash and stuff. When you're doing podcasts, it's completely different to being on here. On podcasts, you're encouraged to take your time, make your points, articulate, get down into the detail. On here, things just move a little bit more quickly, and our team are adjusting. So I've had the time to be on here, get to know you guys, jump into the chat, have a little bit of a laugh. It's a bit more lighthearted, a bit more fun. But Cash is so knowledgeable, and so is Chris, and so is Dave. So these guys are all just adjusting. It's going to take time, but we'll get everybody over. We'll get everybody up to speed, lighten it up a little bit, and we hope you guys enjoy the content and enjoy the guys as they come across, because we have big plans here. And as Jay said, Cash does speak very well, and she writes excellently as well. And she's also a qualified solicitor, actually qualified barrister, excuse me. So the girl's, you know, really intelligent as well. Hassan says, "Hi Craig, remember me?" Of course, mate, of course. No, I'm only messing, Hassan. I do, I'm only joking. I was on a wind, but I do, mate, thank you. Really hoping to see Shaqiri at some stage tomorrow. Stoke are in free fall. They're arguing amongst themselves now, and they can't point the finger at Shaqiri when they lose. It is weird to see them go down on it. You're wondering, are they going to do a Sunderland? Like, are they going to go down, then go down again? And not something I thought I'd be saying about Stoke, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Liverpool 3, Brighton 1 for Tom tomorrow. Also Wolves to cause a massive upset with Manchester City. That's a big statement, Tom, mate. Going for Wolves to beat Man City. I hope you're right. Jesus, I hope you're right. But it's a big call. Callum said, at work, then off to the game tomorrow. Can't wait. 4-0 win. Well in, Callum, mate, buddy. That's a great one. I love your prediction as well. Let me know how you get on at the game. Love to hear from you after the game, mate. Let me know if you enjoyed it, which I'm sure you will. Of course you will. You're going to watch the Reds. Is Off the Ball a television program or online YouTube? So Off the Ball, again, if this is the same one that I'm talking about, it's a radio show, which is also a podcast as well, from News Talk, which is an Irish radio channel. If it's the same Off the Ball, it's they do have video, but they're basically a radio show. Again, if it's the same one I'm talking about. Peter Moore is a legend, said Alpha G, which is true. He's an absolute gent. Where else are we? So many comments, guys. Apologies. I'm trying to get through them all as quickly as I can. There, got to that one. Peter Moore is a legend. I'm sure Klopp will rotate Fabinho and Shaqiri tomorrow, says Eric. Alison Becker, I like Becker too. Comfort to use both. A couple of people just saying nice one, best club in the world, absolute class from Peter Moore. Oh my god, Craig, that's amazing. Just shows the club are with the people. And do you know what, Mickey, putting that aside, that was amazing, but I can't speak highly enough of the way they spoke on the phone with us. And it was tough to get the lines of communication open to an extent, probably because I didn't know where to look or where to go. So that could have partially been my fault, but the time that was spent looking into what happened and the coming back with an answer in the way they did, a very detailed, well articulated explanation of what happened and how it won't happen again, that was what blew me away the most. But that gesture for the little dude was out of this world. Brighton will be hard to break down, said Gareth. We will break that door down, Gareth, mate. Don't you worry about that. We are going to slay that dragon tomorrow. There's no more of this teams being hard to break down. We are just too damn good. We can break anybody down. We got to go into these games positive. We got to go into these games thinking nobody's getting in our way. We have a job to do. Liverpool are on a mission this season. We're going to show up. We're going to have to work hard. We're going to put the work in. We're going to hustle. We're going to harass. We're going to close you down. We're going to be fucking lethal, and we're going to take all our chances. That is the attitude we're going to have. That has to be transmitted from us fans onto the field. Positivity all the way, guys. We can do this. We can do something special here together. A club, fan base, Klopp, the whole shebang. There's something special happening at Liverpool Football Club. And it's an absolute pleasure to be witnessing it unfolding in front of our eyes. Because we've been through it, like, let's be honest, we've had some shit over the years. You know what I'm talking about. I don't even need to say his name. You know the particular period I'm talking about. We've earned this. As a club, we've earned this. We've been through the tough times. And now it looks like we're on the march again, which is long overdue. Well done, LFC. That's a gesture and a half. Says Luke, which is very kind of you, thank you. Crosby Red, back from your jolly bobs, mate. Great to have you with us. I hope you had a good holiday. We did notice you weren't here, but great to have you back with us. just in time for the game tomorrow as well. Let me know where you're going to it, because I know you do go to many of them. Alpha said, I deserve a signed Alisson shirt for watching Mignolet all these years. I think we all deserve one, to be fair, Alpha G. I think that's a fair point. Eric said, Brighton hard to break down in the first 3 minutes. Open the floodgates. There you go. That's the type of positivity we need. Shaqiri will be worth the wait, Squisms. Klopp said everybody at the club loves him too, which is spot on. He did say that. It's looking all good at the club, guys, isn't it? Everything. I mean, we say this. I say this every single stream. I'm on here happy, talking about how great it is to be a Liverpool fan at this moment in time. Talking about the positive outlook. Talking about the manager. It's not because I'm some deluded fucker who's sitting here and just likes to come on and be Mr. Jolly, because believe me, in life I'm not Mr. Jolly. But it is beautiful. It is great to see the good feeling that's around the club. Everybody comes on here night after night with their positive comments, their happy words, looking forward to the games. I honestly wonder, hand on heart, if we can say that the Manchester United fans are feeling the same way at this time. If they're looking ahead to the weekend and going, can't wait to see United go and play Spurs. Should be in for an entertainment game of football there. Yeah, can't wait to see what Jose puts out. I honestly don't think that they can say that with a hand on heart. Obviously, there's some diehards who will absolutely say that, but I guarantee you they'd much rather be where we are now. Proves that we're just a big family, said Callum. Jay said, know what you mean about adjusting. Podcasting is just a fine balance between detail and not waffling. On here, you're really good at condensing your points. It's like on radio and phone-ins that I've done. Yeah, it is that way, Jace. It's completely different, mate. It took me a bit of getting used to as well on here. It's shorter. Everything is, as you said, more condensed on here. The more viewers' content, the more comments we can get into the shows, for me, the better. Which people often ask for guests to come on, and there's a pleasure paying with that. For me, I could sit here and listen to Cash talking all night. I could listen to Chris talking all night, because I love their thoughts on the game. I love how they break down games. But at the same time, you do want to get back in and deal with the people who are putting the comments in as well. So it is a balancing act. We will get there in the end. I just thought at the start, and it wasn't from the regulars, there was some comments that were just pissing me off, that I just thought were completely unnecessary. But not from our regulars, I have to say. James, have a good one, buddy, and drive safe in your journey. You said you have an hour's journey to go in the car, mate. Drive safe. 7-0, Hassan's gone for. Well in. DZB, our own DZB from Glasgow, is going for 5-0. Well in, mate. I'm loving all this nil business, by the way. Loving all this nil business. Daz is here on the bench. LFC, our good mate Daz is in the building. What is up, sir? Guys, look, if you like what we're doing, we say this time and time again. Check out Daz, check out On The Bench TV. Great channel, great guy, top man. Honestly, if you like what we're doing, you'll definitely dig Daz. And Daz is going to be on a little more in the future. We're going to be doing a little more stuff together as well. So lots of love from us to Daz, always. And he's just dropped in to say hello. Well in, mate. I hope you're looking forward to the game tomorrow. I hope the family are well. And I look forward to chatting with you on Sunday as well on the Cop Council podcast. Garrett said, great times on Merseyside because there's another team on the charge and looking to do big things this season. You're right, mate. To be fair, I mean, credit where it's due. Tranmere are doing well. To be fair, Tranmere are doing well. It's good to see them back in the league. Yeah, and we can all poke fun at Everton over the other side of Stanley Park. So I'm only winding you up, Gareth, mate. What else we got? I think Trent will have his chance to get back to his best, especially in this game with the lack of pressing expected from Brighton. Do you know what? Maybe we're being a little bit harsh to Brighton here. I mean, they do have capabilities going forward. Glenn Murray is a decent player. He knows where the net is. He's a handful, but at the same time, as I said, we should be looking ahead and we should be thinking this should be 3 points in the bank. Raptor, you're in, mate. Raptor, you're in big trouble, buddy. Big fucking trouble. How many of them did you let out, buddy? How many of them did you let out? Was there a fucking thumbs down orgy at your gaff and somebody left the doors open, buddy? I mean, the cellar must be empty at this point. Liverpool. Will said, hey Rap, I see you've recaptured some of the dislikers. There was 40 earlier on. Raptor, mate, lots of love for your article, buddy. It's gone up on the website today, anfieldagenda.com. Our very own Raptor has put up a brilliant opinion piece on there, guys. Do check it out. If you like the Raptor on here, you'll love him in written form. He doesn't disappoint ever, does Raptor, so do check out his article. A lot of people as well showing love to Daz, which is absolute quality and what we like to see, because Daz is one of us. Daz is one of our own. We absolutely love Daz. I've no idea what this guy is saying. Say 1, 2, 3 if sub, don't lie, sub count on. What on earth are you talking about, my friend? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to move on past you because I'm bored now. Can't wait for the Arsenal game at Anfield. AFTV should be great, said Jay. It's good the way you've already accustomed yourself to AFTV there. I mean, see how easy that was for everybody. AFTV already, it's easy. Arsenal Fan TV is no more. Love this channel too, knows the stuff as well, said Callum, or his channel with regards to Daz. Daz is a legend, as I keep saying. Daz is an absolute legend. I'd love at some point today, Mo, although be careful what you wish for. The record for thumbs down may get broken. So will somebody recommend that we get Jason on here some night? Because, you know, Jason's an elusive dude. I've been chasing Jason for Mr. Jace Roberts for a very long time now. I don't know, I've shown him enough leg, I've even shown him a bit of cleavage, I've done everything to try and get Jason involved, but Jace is a busy dude and he knows the door is always open for him here with me. Whatever I'm on, it's always open for him. Do you think we'll see a changed side or the same game or the same again tomorrow? I'm going for an unchanged lineup. Do you know what? Hand on heart, I would like an unchanged lineup because I feel nobody deserves to lose their spot. But in saying that, Klopp does like a bit of rotation, and we were the most rotated team in the Premier League last year, so I probably would expect 1 or 2. I wouldn't be surprised if, like people have suggested, we may see Firmino get a rest, but much like you've said, mate, I think an unchanged lineup would be spot on. Daz said, just chilling, watching you now while I work. At least you're doing work, Daz, so you can feel good about yourself. You're not just kicking back and relaxing, mate. You're doing a bit of work as well. So, you know, pleasure, pain and all that stuff. Treat yourself, buddy. 5-0, and I hope Mo gets a hat-trick, says Bullet 6060. I'll tell you what, lads, I would love a 5-0. I would love a 4-0. I would even take a 3-0. But the nil part is what would be brilliant, wouldn't it? I mean, imagine tomorrow coming back here and we're doing the watch along and the goals are just going bang, bang, bang. But we're talking about a clean sheet and we're on here saying, oh, the Reds have 9 points. We've banged in 10 goals this season so far and Alisson hasn't had to do a fucking thing. No goals conceded. Imagine saying that after 3 games. What a start that would be. What a boost that would give the defence, no matter who's playing there. What a boost that would give the fan base. The narrative from the media about our leaky defence will be gone, dead, buried, gone forever. It's all good, guys. And no matter what happens tomorrow, I can guarantee you we are taking those 3 points. You have a promise from me on that one. Liverpool are taking 3 points tomorrow. After tomorrow, I'm saying no more. You know, Leicester away is not going to be an easy game. Spurs away is not going to be an easy game. Do I think we can get the point? Yes, but I'm not going to be as arrogant as I perhaps am tonight. Ryan said, I just can't see Brighton beating Liverpool at Anfield. Nor can I. I mean, there's no scenario that can happen that I see Brighton beating Liverpool tomorrow. There's just none. I can see worst case scenario, a poxy draw where things don't go our way. Maybe we're thinking of Liverpool of old, but I honestly think within 25 minutes we'll be 1-0 up. That's how confident I am. I think we're going to go at this full pelt. Jurgen Klopp is going to have those boys wound up, ready to go tomorrow. He's going to let them know what's at stake. They'll know what's happened with Manchester City before they play. So if Manchester City go to Wolves and get a result, Liverpool know they have to go out there and get a result. If Manchester City go to Wolves and drop points, then our guys are going to be even hungrier to go out in that field and know that Manchester City have dropped points. So whatever happens tomorrow, we can't drop points. They're going to know that, and they're going to go out there and play an expansive game of football like we know they can, and like we've come to become accustomed to watching. I've fallen in love with shapes this season. The Rob Keita Mane triangle is beautiful to see, said Squisms. I was wondering where you were going with that one, mate. When you said you've fallen in love with shapes this season, I was thinking, has Grisham's lost their fucking plot here? What's going on? $107 watching and 144 likes. Good trick if we can do it. That is absolute quality. Obviously 100 is always the target, so to be at 144 likes already is absolute legendary stuff. So thank you to everyone that's watching. Don't forget, guys, if you're watching, if you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that subscribe button as well, and don't forget to turn on the notifications, because tomorrow when we go live, when we're getting ready for the watch along, you will, of course, if you have your notifications turned on, you'll be let know when we go live, so you can click straight onto your computer, jump on here and join the fun. Michael Edwards is so good he can negotiate world peace with a sell-on clause. That's a fucking belter. That is one of the best comments I've read in a long time, mate. That is absolute quality. Michael Edwards is so good he can negotiate world peace with a sell-on clause. That is brilliant. Oh, well in, mate. That is absolute quality. Let's be careful. Brighton are an okay side. 3-0 to the Reds. Salah 2. Firmino will score. There you go. Be cautious, dirty girl. You're right. 3-0 will do. Let's not be greedy. As long as we do need to get Salah to get those 2 though, because I do have him to score a brace. So I do need those 2 goals, dirty girl. They're back in the cellar, guys. It took me all evening to round them up, but they're back under lock and key now, said the Raptor. Well in, sir. Well in, mate. You know, you took your fucking time, but you got there in the end. Stephen Richards said he's enjoying the Facebook group, which is of course down to the absolute legend that is Mickey Fryer. So if anybody wants a link for the Facebook group or anything like that, do get in contact with Mickey down there in the chat. You can see a couple of comments below. Mickey's there. He runs the Facebook group for us. He's an absolute superstar. Long Live King Mo said, it's funny when you think about it. I strongly believe if Salah didn't get injured, we would have won the Champions League final and Karius would probably still be our number 1. You know what? That's the thing. That's the fine margins in football, isn't it? It's a tough one, guys. It really is. I have no ill feeling towards Loris Karius on a personal level, anything like that. Look, what happened happened. None of us can ever change that. But what you got to remember is all the mistakes, any fuck ups he made, anything like that, they weren't intentional. They weren't done to personally get at any of us. He didn't want that to happen. So he moves on to Besiktas. We wish him well. You have to wish him well. He's part of our family. You wish him well. You hope he goes there, rebuilds his career. For us at Liverpool, things are moving on. We've got a new goalkeeper in town, Alisson Becker. We wish him well. He looks like an absolute superstar. So we push ahead, but we have to send our love with Loris Karius out there, because he seems like a good old human being. And at the end of the day, footballers will make mistakes. Some people may not be able to handle playing for a club like Liverpool, and that's just human nature. That's just human nature. It's a big ass club with a lot of pressure. Daz reckons Craig, Hendo or Fabinho to start against Brighton if Milner is rested. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'd probably say Hendo from a personal standpoint. I would rather see, but what beautiful options it is. What a headache Klopp has there. Craig, you can have United relegated, but the mighty Toffees winning the league. Would you take that? No, I'd still rather. No, I don't want you guys ever winning the league, if I'm being honest, ever. And I mean ever. There, like ever. United being relegated would be nice and all, but the blue shirt winning the league would nah, I can't pallet that one, mate. Sorry. With all due respect, Gareth, because I know you are a blue nose and a very nice blue nose, so respect to you, my friend. The way Man United are playing at present, would love to see them get beaten 5-0. That's weird, because I was going to ask what result you guys are hoping for with the Manchester United or the Spurs Manchester United game. Personally, I'm all over a draw there, if I'm being honest. For me, a draw is the perfect result. Should rotate, there are harder games ahead and we don't want our players to be fatigued by October, said Ryan, which of course is a good comment. It's tough to get that mix, Ryan, isn't it? It's tough to hit the ground running and keep the consistency and keep the level of performance up without giving a nod and looking ahead to the future and wanting the players to get that rest. Particularly, we've got this stupid international break coming up in September, and it does my fucking head in. It does my head in at the best of times, but this year with the World Cup only after just finishing, players already being laid back for so many clubs, for them to have to go off again, unless of course you're a Manchester City player, because you just don't get called up. Then they're getting a holiday for this one. And look, maybe I'm a little bit bitter about that, but I do get you. And Klopp isn't shy about rotating either, Ryan. As I said earlier on, we were the most rotated team, I believe, last year in the Premier League. Jay says, without disrespecting Brighton and with Vardy out at Leicester, I'm expecting 4 clean sheets and 4 wins. I'm with you. I mean, I got to be honest. Yeah, having Vardy out is a big help, and we should be looking to go to Leicester and get a result. I just don't like these half-12 kickoffs. There's something that always makes me nervous about these half-12 kickoffs. I don't know. Call me a pessimist about them, and you guys know usually I'm full of positivity on here, but they worry me, those half-12 kickoffs. Maybe it's because I'm a lazy prick and I don't like getting up for those early kickoffs. Maybe that's secretly what I really dislike about them. Thomas said, Jurgen Klopp, we need a team sheet for tomorrow. Is our own Jurgen Klopp in the building, is he? Because we do have our own little Jurgen Klopp on here who pops in from time to time to join us. He is there. There he is, sir. Hello, how are you? Any chance of the team sheet, Jurgs? Any chance of a little bit of knowledge tomorrow, maybe for the betting community out there? Have you anything for us? Cobra's doing well, which is great to see. Crosby Red said, went to the same fixture last season and left happy. 4-0, if memory serves me correct, although my memory usually isn't correct when it comes to remembering scores, because I'm awful at stuff like that. Pooch Mount said, I can totally see Man United getting a hammering soon, either by us or City. They're sitting ducks and a battering is coming their way. Nothing but sorrow and woe. I feel like that should really be followed up with a bittersweet, beautiful rendition of fuck 'em. What else have we got? Hey Liverbird, good old days. The castle, what's that? Castle tent? That's mate. I'm jumping past that. That's nothing to do with me. Ant said, hope you don't mind putting autism awareness in the chat. Absolutely not, buddy. You work away, my friend. I'm a massive advocate for autism awareness, as I am for good mental health, as of course I am for cancer charities as well. You were more than welcome to post anything along those lines in our chat at any time. Always happy to see it, my friend. United relegated, possible Everton winning the league. Dream on, said Eric. I think we should start a GoFundMe for tighter security at the Raptor cellar, which is a fair shout. I mean, it is. The security contract that he's going to have in there now to keep all these people there, because the crowd's building there. So, Rap probably does need a little bit of help. David says, Craig, just seen Andy Robertson still chasing the Palace team bus down the motorway. I believe he even went to a drive-through and got himself a little Iron Brew as well, but he's still going. He's still powered up by Iron Brew goodness. What a man, David. What a man Andy Robertson is. Mickey has been an absolute legend and posted the link to the Facebook group in there. So if anybody wants to jump in and join the Anfield Agenda Facebook group, just click on Mickey's link there and that will take you straight to it. Neil Anthony said, Klopp has learned from his mistakes. We will rotate the team apart from the goalkeeper and the back four. Previous seasons we rotated goalkeepers and defence, and that's why we dropped so many points. Where else? Mignolet will be our League Cup keeper this season. Thoughts? Probably. I mean, there's every possibility that, and I'd always agree with giving a backup keeper game time in the season, because they deserve some. They're a valued member of the squad, and I don't think Simon Mignolet is good enough to be our first goalkeeper, but I also think he's a very good calibre backup goalkeeper. So if Klopp decides that Mignolet gets the League Cup, then yeah, so be it. Stephen said, no football player of any team can say they haven't made mistakes. Good luck to Karius. Absolutely, mate. Well said. Absolutely. The thing is, when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, as you know, there's nobody to cover his ass. It's a lonely place when you're a goalkeeper and you make a mistake. And trust me, this idiot has played in goal for many years and made many a mistake. And it is you want the ground to swallow you up when you're a keeper and you make mistakes. So yeah, absolutely well said. Hi Craig, have you seen anything on the potential signing of Anthony Coric of Roma as a Felipe Coutinho replacement? Not recently. I seen links to Coric going back about 12 or 18 months ago, and I don't think he was at Roma then. If I'm right, I think he hadn't possibly made the move to Roma. Is this the Croatian guy, or am I thinking of the wrong person here? It's just a young lad from Croatia. I remember seeing links to him a while back, but nothing since he's been at Roma. I heard the Anfield rap is tapping up Raptor, time for a new contract. They couldn't afford him, mate. They couldn't afford him. They couldn't get the levels of diet chav necessary to keep Raptor. See, that's where we have an edge here. We kind of limit the diet chav flow out to the world. So there's only so much out there for mere mortals, and we keep the rest back for the contributors here on the Anfield Agenda. So the rap knows by staying here and boogieing with us here, being on our bus, he gets his lifetime supply of diet chav, which, you know, we got him hooked now, so can't leave. The Raptor is going for a draw between Spurs and United, which would be the best result, I think, as well. I honestly think United could be in a relegation battle, said Gareth. Fucking hell, that's a big call, mate. Nothing would make me happier, but it's a big call. Gary said, Craig, I can see Spurs getting a result. Does anybody think that Mourinho's going to be gone by Christmas? And without us being all gloaty, ha-ha Liverpool fans, I mean, genuinely, does anyone think he's in genuine fear or trouble and he may well lose his job in the next few months? I honestly can't decide for myself. I don't know how much of this is media spin and how much of it is him trying to, you know, take pressure off his team perhaps and get them to grind out results. I'm unsure, so I'd love to know how you guys see this one. Far Isle is in. He said, finally have a moment to pop in. I'm seeing Fakir tweets from several sources. Just a comment from him. Interesting. He did play tonight, didn't he? Or did he? He didn't start for Leon. Did he get on? Let me just check that. I do wonder if he got on, because I know he didn't. Let me just check. Lineups. Yeah, he did. He came on the 79th minute for Leon. So we got, what, the last 11 minutes tonight. Cobra saying, I hope Spurs and the Manx draw. Need them both to drop points. Patbot said, if United got relegated, we wouldn't have a derby next season. Oh, Gareth, how do you feel about that one, buddy? Yeah, shots fired here straight away from Patbot. If United get stuffed by Spurs, they might get rid of Jose, so a draw is probably the best result, said Damo. Damo hoping Jose stays forever. I know it's better for us if they draw, but I just hate United so much. I want them to miss out on top 4, said Long Live King Mo. We were challengers for City and hopefully we can snatch the title from them, said Hassan. Mate, I'm with you. I really do hope we can really put a challenge in this year. It is weird because being confident is a strange feeling for me as a Liverpool fan. I've always been optimistic, but confidence is something that I really haven't felt such an abundance of in a long time. So, and hearing other people talking about us as realistic contenders as well, it's been a weird one. It's been strange to process this feeling. 157 likes, said Jay, which is mad. What, we still have, what, 35 minutes to go? Dare we say 200, guys? Dare we say 200? Squism said, the stream always has fantastic energy. Diet Chav powers us like Ribena powers Millie. That's one thing I try and do, actually. I'm glad you noticed that. I do try and keep it up tempo. I do try and keep it moving along, which is why when I get people on, whether it be Cash or Chris or anybody else, they're not used to this level because our podcasts are a bit more kickback, relaxed. And so it'll take them a little while to transition in. But maybe I should just, you know, send them all Diet Chav energy before they come on, and they can come on here buzzing like me. And I'm not like this in real life. That's the funny thing. When I come on here, when I switch on this computer, when I hit that stream button, I don't know, I just get happy. I just come on here, I chat with you guys, and I just feel full of energy and full of life, which is unusual because I'm a lazy bastard at the best of times. Fekir has spoken, Craig, to French media, saying he's unsure why the move to us didn't happen. Wow. That is really odd. If that's the case, man, that is really odd. I very much am looking forward to having a little read into this one later on now. That is nuts. That if he doesn't know, then what fucking hope have the rest of us got to find it out? That's crazy. Yasser is going for 2-1 to Spurs against United. Liver Bird said, was woken by 3 Man United supporters playing football with a stray cat at 3 a.m. Was going to phone the RSPCA, but the cat went 1-0 up. Oh, I was wondering where you were going to go with that one. That was a good one, well in. That wouldn't have been Johnny Cuntylock's fault, said Cobra with regards to Fekir. Of course it wouldn't. It would never be his fault. It definitely has to be somebody else's fault. Where is that comment gone? Where's it gone? Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up here, but the chat is jumping all over the place. There it is. Connor McCracken 1 said, hope the United game is 0-0, so no goal difference and 1 point each. That's a perfect result, mate. And no goal for Harry Kane to celebrate as well, which would be nice. Townsend is also still chasing the bus. To catch up, Andy Robertson said Far Isle. I cannot get enough of that Cruyff turn from Naby Keita. I can't. I've watched that gif over and over and over again. It doesn't get any less beautiful. Cobra said, don't forget we were robbed of 12 points last season. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to come on and say something clever about that, but you know, it's fucking true. It was proved, and you can't argue with science. Even though there's probably very little science involved, to be fair, but you can't argue with experts. Simon Mignolet would be a great social media manager, said Alpha G. I don't know, man. I reckon even a social media account would be a little too boring. You want someone a bit more lively. You want like a Sturridge or something running your social media accounts. Klopp said, is letting us know that Naby's finishing is looking bang on in training. Our own Jurgen Klopp. So, you know, maybe get your money on Keita to score tomorrow if Kloppo's nothing to go by here. Far Isle said, I hate the idea of Zidane and United with a massive budget. It would be a big job though, that's the thing. Would he go in there and would they give him the type of money that he's going to want to get that team back to where they're going to want to get? Because it's a fucking big undertaking, because let's be honest, look at that United team now. Is there anybody in there who you take or go, wow, they're amazing, De Gea and Pogba? Other than that, I mean, you're looking at that team and you're going, yeah, Alexis Sanchez is good, but he's not great for United. His form's in the floor. And look, I don't want to keep going back to United here, but it's a big job for whoever comes in there now. That's a big job to get them back to where they were, and they haven't been able to do it since Fergie left. Haven't won a league title since Alex Ferguson left. It's important to note that. Although they'll say, look, dickheads, you have won the league title in 28 years, and that is true, but we aren't up our own arses like they are, so, you know, therein lies the difference. Did you see the positioning of Lindelof when Bailey gave away the penalty at Brighton? If that was Gomez, VVD would say, get in your fucking position, and the Sky Sports cameras would pick up on that. I didn't notice it, to be fair. I was too busy rolling around the ground laughing. He'll be gone by October, says Cobra with regards to Jose. The Diachav pipeline runs through my cellar, electrified of course, to deter the thumbs downers, says the Raptor. And also to create the bubbles and the kinetic energy involved in making Diachav the super soft drink that it is. DCB reckons November for Jose before he gets the boo. Eric said, if Man United can't sign decent players, what chance have they got of getting a manager? Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but there's been a few murmurings around the name of Zinedine Zidane, and Jose will be aware of that. And as I said to you guys before, a couple of people have then pointed towards Inter Milan to think that maybe Jose might end back up at Inter Milan. A couple of people have actually gone as far as to say to me that they believe the groundwork has been laid with regards to signings and stuff for Jose to perhaps go back to Inter Milan. And, you know, again, all just hearsay, but interesting what goes on in football, in the world of football. He's in real trouble, which is a pity, to be honest. Just the right fit there, said Hero. Our own Klopp reckons the Jose will be gone. Ronald just joined the Facebook group. Well inside, nice one. Guys, I'm gonna just drop it into the chat here. The details for Patreon and PayPal and stuff. If anybody wants to jump on there, help us out. We did say we've recently purchased a new light. We've recently built a website. Lots of other bits and pieces going on, things that we want to do. So if anybody wants to jump onto Patreon or PayPal and help us out a little bit, or send something our way. I've just dropped the link in. I won't be pushing it. What else have we got? Craig, I said this in the summer, be a 3-horse race for the league and Jose will be gone by Christmas. And to be fair, Crosby Red, you absolutely did say that. And more than once as well. So yeah, fair play. You were spot on. Well, we can't say about Jose yet, but you did say that. Jay says, at the end of the season we need a compilation of Van Dijk swearing. That is the Alan Hansen type leader we've been looking for, or we've needed under Jurgen Klopp. Jace Roberts says, Mourinho will do his usual, push and push via the media and test the United's top brass resolve. Will depend on player power at United, if you ask me. Will struggle to see the season out. Didn't he do something shitty in his press conference today as well? I think I heard somebody say or read something that he came into the press conference, was it half an hour early or 15 minutes early? Answered 14 really quick fire questions with 1 or 2 word answers and then left before most of the media actually arrived, which is you know, what can you say? It's just shithousery. Big Verge is so good he can defend endangered species, said Damo. 161 likes, said Jay. 39 guys. We've got 27 minutes to go, so we'll get there. We can get there. I believe in you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, guys. The subscribers, can somebody give me a hell yeah, or can somebody give me a number on the subscribers? Because as I keep saying, I don't have it on my screen, and it's probably something I should have. That's information I should definitely have in front of me. Super Chav, shooting dirt Chav energy out of your palms. Yeah, kind of like Street Fighter rest, kind of like Hadouken, Sonic Boom, die Chav. Jurgen Klopp said, don't worry lads, if I'm offered the United job I'll turn it down quicker than Naby Cruyff turned against Palace. Then Cruyff, the Naby, no, we're going to have a rewind that and have a go again, Craig. Don't worry lads, if I'm offered the United job I'll turn it down quicker than Naby Keita did the Cruyff turn against Palace. There, I got it right the second time around, Mr. Klopp. Apologies for fucking up your comment. Hi Craig and the chat. United fans in the local saying Brighton will get a draw out of us. Yeah. Wishful thinking, El Chapo, mate. Wishful thinking. They're just trying to make themselves feel better about the fact that they lost to Brighton last week. And I'm going to say it again. They lost to Brighton last week. 3-2. Beautiful stuff. Did you see VVD waving to Townsend after the Keita turn? Beautiful. Oh, it's all beautiful, Jace. Everything at Liverpool at the minute is beautiful. But nothing is as beautiful as Big Verge, I have to say. He is an absolute specimen of a man in every way, in a footballing sense, in a coolness sense. The machismo meter is off the fucking charts as well. Phil Neville is a muppet and just can't face the truth, says Liverbird 1. You could have cut that sentence short and just stopped after Phil Neville is a muppet and you still would have been spot on. Eric Worry said, I won't give up on Fekir until January. Crosby Red said, Kane will claim one of Mane's goals if they draw 0-0 with the Manx. Sure, hasn't somebody said he's already after claiming the penalty points from Hugo Lloris as well? He claimed them as his own. David said, there's a girl in my uni room called Manon, and whenever anyone shouts her name I shit myself and do a Cruyff turn like Lallana Craig. I hope people get that whole Manon shout there, David. I know a lot of English and Irish people certainly have used the phrase Manon when playing football, so I hope everybody got your joke because it does deserve a little chuckle. DZB, mate, good night, and I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow, pal. And don't forget, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, well, join us tomorrow for the game because we'll be doing a watch along. We'll be starting around 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be doing a complete watch along of Liverpool destroying Brighton. And when I say watch along, we won't be showing the game because of copyright laws, obviously. What we will be doing is reacting in real time, giving you a bit of commentary on the game, jumping into the chat, letting you know what's going on, celebrating together. Hopefully there's no commiserating, but we'll be celebrating together, discussing the game. We'll be on right from 5 o'clock right through half time to full time. Then we'll take a small little break for a few minutes and we'll be back with our good cop, bad cop post-match show. So I hope you can join us for that one. hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and you'll be notified the second we go live. They're usually good fun. I'm quite new to these. This is my 4th one, I think, but I'm enjoying them. Yeah, they're fun. The more we do them, the more I like them. I'd like to see what Klopp could do with Martial, says Far Isle. As would I. I really would. I think there's one hell of a player there in Anthony Martial, and he's been very badly managed by Jose. Crosby Red said, can't understand why some are still pining over Fekir. Look at our squad, look at our results, look at our club. We have everything we need. But there's always a little bit more, isn't there, Crosby Red? Come on, we can be greedy. There's always a bit more. You're right in what you say. But I mean, a Fekir or a Christian Pulisic wouldn't. You know, they wouldn't go astray if we're being honest. But you are right. We don't technically need them, but you know, if we're working ahead, if we're looking to become one of the best clubs in the world, and we're looking to have strength and depth all over the field, then you know, I've got to be honest. From my side, I wouldn't mind one of them. Zidane won't take over the United job, said Will. Can't wait for the Champions League atmosphere at Anfield, said Jay. There's nothing better, mate. Nothing better than those lights and that music at Anfield. There's something special. You can feel the magic in the air. You can smell it. You can touch it. You can see it in the condensation from your breath when you breathe out. There's just something special about it. Mourinho signed a contract last season. Do you think they'd let him stay on? And hang on, Mourinho signed a contract last season. You think they'd let him stay on that and try back? Otherwise, why did they do it? I don't know why they did it, mate. But fuck him. You know, fuck him, fuck him, fuck United, fuck the whole lot of them. Let them wallow in the misery that is Jose Mourinho. Per Inter, they're finally recovering, and that fucking muddy boulder returns to polish them off for good, said Far Isle. I'm an AC fan when it comes to Italian football. AC, and I like Napoli as well, but of the Inter clubs, I'd certainly lean towards AC Milan. Although I do love Napoli's style of football, I have to say. And not that I consider myself actually being a fan of any Italian side. I mean, Liverpool are my club, and as I said before, Barcelona are, you know, I've been a fan of Barcelona since I was a kid as well. A lot less so over the last few years, actually, with the treatment we've received from them, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish Jose Mourinho on anybody at this moment in time. Squisms, buddy, talk to you soon, mate. Oh, how have you not got one, actually? Hang on. There you go, buddy. Just before you head off. Night, lads. Craig, Blues Banner FC, it has been mustered. Well, I've given you your little gift before you head off, mate. I will talk to you soon. God, the comments going so fast. I'm trying to catch up, guys. Bear with me. Theatre of Nightmares. I just seen that one from Eric. Ah, there we go. Cool, I've caught up. Liverbird1 says, I'm never carried on the way the Manc pricks did when they won league titles. That's where they're the most detested supporters, at least in Europe. You know, I kind of feel the same way, if I'm being honest. So many of their fans, the whole self-righteous shit just bugs me about so many of them. Hassan said, look, let's be serious and everybody just take 1 minute please to have a laugh about how poor United's team are. Let's all bow our heads for 1 moment. Fuck them. 3,575 subs, Will. Thank you very much, sir. So when we haven't got long to go, we'll be getting towards that 4,000 before we know it, guys, and that's only because of you, legends. So thank you so much for all your support. Far Isle said, it's such a shame. I wish they'd persist with Jose like Arsenal did with Arsene. Oh, death of a dream. Jay said, reporter, how is Pogba doing at training? Jose, I'm sorry, I can't say, otherwise I'll get fined by Woodward. Connor said, I wouldn't be worried if an asteroid was hurtling towards Earth and big man Verge would just coolly head it down into the sun. He would, yeah, just knock it out of the way there. Not a bother to him. Klopp's underpants said Jose is lazy. He doesn't coach his players. He just wants them to perform because of their names and reputation. He's also a filthy twat. Now, there you go. I love it when they try to bait Van Dijk into admitting Liverpool got a favourable call and he just says, who cares? I fucking love that about the dude as well. It's what we would all want to say, isn't it? Oh yeah, no, the soft penalty, yeah, who gives a fuck? We won. Nah. Breaking news, United's new sponsors are Cleanies. Hassan said, when Brighton beat United, I was brightened up. We do need quality in squad depth. Take all we can get of super high quality, said Farrell. You can never have too much quality, but I do get what Crosby Red was saying. In all fairness, things are pretty rosy at the minute. Share price, says Eric Worry. Share price. Best beard, Salah or Alisson Becker? Oh, Becker for me wins that battle hands down. I have to say, yeah, Becker for me. I noticed somebody else had a beautiful beard actually recently on television. It was almost Thierry Henry-esque in its kind of glitteriness and shininess, and I can't remember who it was. Jay said, Farrell VVD with who cares is second only to Craig with fuck him. There's defo merch coming with that on it. I swear to God, I just can't think of the best way of doing it yet. But I've told Connor we have to, even if nobody ever buys it, just so I can own one, we have to make a t-shirt or something with fuck 'em on it. We just have to. It has to be done. I'm just trying to find the right one line to build up to it. So I'm working hard on it. But I feel like the world does need a fuck 'em t-shirt. Even if I'm the only idiot that buys it. What will the last 15 minutes topic be tonight? I was literally thinking that myself, Will, because we're hurtling towards that last 15 minutes now. Any suggestions, please do whack it in the chat because I haven't got one up my sleeve just yet. Neil said, Craig, am I right to say Klopp turned United down? The Manx are saying he was second choice to Van Gaal and United turned Klopp down. I don't think so. You don't turn down Jurgen Klopp. End of. I can't say whether they offered them the job or not, but as a club, you do not turn down Jurgen Klopp. You don't get to turn down Jurgen Klopp because you go after Jurgen Klopp. He doesn't come after you. He's he's held in that high in esteem as a manager. He doesn't go fucking interviewing for jobs. People are kicking his door down. So for anyone to say that he was turned down by United is absolute horseshit. And not because I know for a fact that they offered him a job, because I'm just saying that's not how it would happen in Klopp's world. He's a top level manager. People want him. Arsenal would have been pleading to get Klopp in to succeed Arsene Wenger. I always thought that that's probably where he'd have ended up if he was to come to England. But he didn't, and I'm fucking delighted about it. And he's at Liverpool, and our lives are infinitely better for having him in our club. Callum said, at work in 5 hours, so going to get some sleep before a big day tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Good night, Callum, mate, and enjoy the game tomorrow if I don't speak to you beforehand. Beck loser, who said that? Farrell. Oh, that song brings back memories, mate. Although I've no idea what he said in the line before I'm a loser, baby. I never knew what that line was. Where's the Raptors comment that Jace is replying to? 166 likes. Well in, guys. It was actually a right Raptor, mate. It was Dave that first said fuckums. Well in, it was. He replied on a podcast, didn't he, or something? We asked him about something and he just said fuck him. You're right, it was Dave the first one. Well in. Good memory, because I genuinely didn't remember that. He's not getting the fucking credit from me though. He can fuck off. He may have come up with it first, but I honed this motherfucker into the phrase that it is today. What else we got? Defo a fucking t-shirt needed, mate, but also needs to be on that green screen that you're getting. It arrived today, actually. Good point, Jace. That green screen arrived today. So yeah, so we'll be playing around with that and we'll have something soon. But yes, the green screen did arrive today. So thanks for reminding me, Jace, because I would have completely forgot to mention that. Oh, that was it. The rapper said, yeah, Jace. It was on a podcast a while ago when Germany got knocked out of the World Cup, and Craig asked him what he thought about it because he lives in Germany, and he just replied, "Well, fuck him," which was beautiful. Which is the most articulate answer I think I've ever been given ever on a podcast. Faulty Towers screens Craig for Ansett for the last 15 minutes. There's only 12 episodes, but jeez, there's so much stuff you could talk about there. How about what roles people in the chat would have with the club? Kitman, manager, owner, etc. What else we got? Imagine Diachav FC. Don't think I haven't, Hassan, mate. I've had many Diachav FC dreams. Right, come on people, we still need ideas. So far we have Faulty Towers and we have what roles people in the chat would have with the club. Has anybody got anything else for the last 15 minutes tonight? Any funny topics we can have a chat about? Kieran, mate, have a safe trip, and we will look out for you in the Cop End and enjoy the game. Klopp's dream is to build his teams. Must be a super buzz, says Eric. It must be. Songs to fit players is what Thomas is saying for the last 15. There is a few belters, to be fair. The rhythm of Van Dijk is one that I just can't get out of my head. I don't know who said that to me. Somebody in the chat here said that to me one night. I think it might have been Charlene or somebody actually. I just can't get that out of my head. Manuel is coaching West Ham United. I'll leave it up to you guys. I'll let you guys what you want to chat about. I'll easily go with Faulty Towers, or I'll go with songs, whatever you guys want. Keep seeing things on Facebook saying Liverpool fans are pissed at the leaked FIFA rankings for the new FIFA 19 game. Oh, couldn't give a fuck. I don't play FIFA, so that definitely doesn't happen with me, mate. I couldn't give a shite about FIFA ratings. Sing the Mo Salah song? No. I'll sing it tomorrow if he scores. If he scores during the game, I'll give it a belter. But not singing it now, Hassan, mate. No, definitely not. People have had enough of my singing. The Love Shack for Shaqiri. I don't know. I love that song and all, but I'm not sure about the cop belt in that one out. It just doesn't seem the right type of melody for the cop to be bashing out. But it is a great fit, to be fair. 80s kids shows. There you go. We have a winner. There you go. Pooch Mount straight in with a winner. Best TV shows when we were kids growing up. That is perfect. Right, go. Bang. Let me know. Put it in the chat. What TV shows have we got? God, there were so fucking many. Different Strokes I watched growing up. God, what else have we got? Knight Rider, Airwolf. There's so many TV shows we could have a chat about here, guys. DJ Cat on Sky One. Farrell said, Craig, please start selling fuck 'em shirts, and Jason and I would like a signed one. I'm not joking. I've said to Connor, we're gonna have fucking merchandise. It's just a matter of, if we can come up with a clever way as well of removing the U and change that into something else. Living next door to Alison. There you go, Jace. That's a belter. That is a belter. We've got 24 years looking at me. Oh, there's definitely so much we could do with that, Jace. I'm going to be thinking of that all night now, Jace. Trying to get the lyrics right to that Living Next Door to Alison bit. The Fresh Prince, Jay. The Wonder Horse. But Fresh Prince, that was... And Megan Onkey as well with Fresh Prince. That was an absolute belter. I mean, just for Carlton and his Carlton dance alone, Fresh Prince was it was an absolute... And Uncle Phil. I mean, you gotta love Uncle Phil. What a show that was. Still to this day, my kids watch that on TV when it's repeated. That's how good of a show that is. It's just brilliant. Thundercats, says Jimmy. There's a show that brings me back. Thundercats. Thundercats. Ronald said, hey Craig, question, at the preseason game, how many guys from the chat did you meet? Honest answer, Ronald, I couldn't fucking tell you. Me and Connor were shaking hands and talking to people for about 15 or 20 minutes, and I have no idea who anybody was. I was just literally turning around talking to people. Some people probably were just people that were there, and we were just turning around talking to everyone, and I never thought of trying to get names. So I honestly couldn't tell you, mate. Who's the boss? I remember that one as well. Yeah, God, that really takes me back. Who's the boss? Pink Panther. Did-in, 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 did-in. Sweet Caroline for Klein was always a good one as well from David. Who's the boss does really take me back. What was the other one? The one with Michael J. Fox in it when he first started on Family Ties. Was that what it was called? I think that's one of the first TV shows I ever remember watching. The Boys from the Black Stuff. Honestly, that doesn't ring a bell to me, and I know the name of the show, but it just doesn't ring a bell to me. Ryan said, I was born in 95, so can't participate much in this, but I remember old shows like Only Fools and Horses and Red Dwarf. Ryan, whatever was your show as a kid, mate, whack it in the chat. It doesn't matter if it was 95 or not. I mean, it doesn't matter, mate. You still had probably some quality shows that you're going to remember from growing up. The Equalizer. I didn't watch it, but I definitely know the show VVD, The Equalizer. Farrell said, I loved French and Saunders and Absolutely Fabulous. The parodies of movies they do. Who's Afraid of Baby Dawn with Dawn French as Betty Davis. Pissed myself laughing. Dukes of Hazzard. Definitely remember watching Dukes of Hazzard. Definitely remember that. I was born in 2003, so Jay, there's still got to be TV shows though, mate, that you enjoyed growing up. Even though you're 15 now, there has to be ones you remember when you were 6 or 7, mate, that you enjoyed. Knight Rider said Cobra. Oh man, I fucking love that car. I absolutely love Kit. God, I really loved that show when I was growing up. And the A-Team. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned the A-Team yet. Come on, the A-Team is probably the show that defined my childhood. From a TV sense, absolutely loved the A-Team. There's Jay straight in with the A-Team, was up there with the greatest TV shows ever made. Cartoon wise, it's He-Man, which is a good show as well. I had Castle Grayskull and all that shit growing up. Thundercats, Ninja and Hero Turtles. Who was the other one that used to be on around the same time as all those? What was the guy that had Fort? What was it called? Oh my god, what was the guy's name? This is like a sheriffy dude. Bravestar. Does anyone remember Bravestar? That was nuts as well. Remember Nightmare? I do remember that one, to be fair. Saved by the Bell. I took my confirmation name from Saved by the Bell. I have Zachary from Zach Morris as my confirmation name, so yeah, I remember that. Screech was brilliant. He never did quite get Lisa though, did he? Actually, Screech got locked up, didn't he? He got done for carrying a knife or something in real life. I remember reading that a couple of years ago. $6 Million Man. We have the technology. We can rebuild you. The A-Team as well. I see a few A-Team comments now coming in. A-Team was quality. The Fall Guy. Boys from the Black Stuff was about Scousers from Liverpool in the 80s struggling for work. Good watch. Bread is about the only show I remember from that far. And Auf Wiedersehen Pet. Actually, my dad loved Auf Wiedersehen Pet, which I always watched as well. Minder was another one I always watched growing up. Fraggle Rock, which was a belter of a show, and spawned off so many brilliant parody songs. Excuse me, the land of the lost and Lost in Space, says Farwell. Never quite got into those because they were a bit too sci-fi for me, and I don't do sci-fi. Carol Burnett show? That doesn't ring a bell at all. Mourinho and the Little Tramp. The Man from Atlantis. Manimal, I remember that one as well. Gary Manimal, that was definitely a show I remember. Guys, we still have 10 or so minutes left, so if you are watching, don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream, and don't forget to hit the like button and see if we can get to 200 likes on this stream, which we haven't done in ages, so it would be brilliant to do it. I don't know what we're at, but if we can get there, please do hit that like button. Chips, there you go, Thomas. I had the Chips motorbike when I was younger in my back garden. Chips was the business. I fucking love Chips. 21 Jump Street actually as well. That was another one when I was growing up. Yasser Hughes, gives a job. Gives a job. Family Guy. Family Guy's a belter, to be fair. I love that show. Family Guy and South Park, both quality. Johnny Briggs, Chips, Keenan and Kel. Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. Is it true? It's true. I do. I fucking love that show. It was so shit. It was really terrible, but I loved Keenan and Kel growing up. The Rockford Files. Brookside. Oh, Brookie was nuts. Buried under patios and all in the back garden. Brookside was deadly. Is that Moonies? Is that who that one's supposed to be? Megan Anki? To the Manor Born. The IT Crowd. Are You Being Served? Any show on DVD, says Eric. Dallas. My ma used to watch that crap. I never watched it, but my ma loved Dallas. The only thing I remember about Dallas, and it's got nothing to do with Dallas, is the guy in Father's Head saying wearing the I Shot JR t-shirt. That's my favourite part, and it has nothing to do with the show. Rising Damp, now that was a show. The Shitty Landlord, that was a great show. What was his name? The landlord's name? Mr. Rigsby, was it? Was that his name? That was a really good show. Anne said I was born in 87, but my dad got me into the boys and the black stuff. I was born in 81, mate, so what, you're 30 this, or 30 or 31, so you're not too far behind me. Hustle was a great show, to be fair, Neil. I love that. Is Adrian Lester, is that the actor's name in Hustle? He was brilliant in that show. Knight Rider, cannot beat it. Falcon Crest, God, we're going back now. I Know I Can Treat You. Becker, I remember Becker as well. That was a good show. Ted Danson. Happy Days. Oh, the Fonz. There you go, Jace. Jace pulling out the belt. I say you cannot beat a bit of Happy Days and the Fonz. I fucking love that show. And Chachi, and brilliant show. Can't beat a bit of Happy Days. Spitting Image, said Gary. That was a belter as well. They got TV so right when we were growing up. Like, there's so many good shows. What have we got? Ronald said, how much of these actors from our childhood are still living? I think the guy from Different Strokes have passed. I honestly don't know. If he has or has not. But yeah, so many. Do you know, there's another conversation we could have there about actors from our childhoods, which is you know where I'm going with this one. It's gone off in a completely dark direction, which I don't want to have. But yeah, there's something about those actors from the 70s and 80s, isn't there? There's a few stories floating around, alright. Nobody said Rainbow yet, by the way. How have none of us mentioned Rainbow? Cheers, which was a belter, to be fair. Cheers was an absolute brilliant TV show. Taxi as well was another good one. The Ward from Gary. Barbershop. That's a good film, to be fair. I do like Barbershop. So many great TV, so many memories here. Crosby Red had a jumpsuit with Fonzie on the front. Well in. Farwell said, more serious show. I love The Killing. The original, not the US crap. I just watched whatever was on, said Will. Good mate. Glad to see you're not fussy. Well in. We need a few of you in the world, my friend. Rent-A-Ghost, don't remember that one. Bloodsport, there's a film for you. Bloodsport. Jean-Claude Van Damme at his finest. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo's still going strong as well. I mean, Jesus Christ, they really are making money off that show. Where he also tries to drown himself in a puddle in Sefton Park. Some mothers do have him. I remember that one as well. I'm not even going to try and say the way he says Betty, but yeah. The Two Ronnies. Never my cup of tea, but a really good show. Hill Street Blues, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I forgot about that one as well. Hill Street Blues, God, we are going back. Kel died at a young age. I didn't know that. I did not know that, to be fair. Cell Block H, Prisoner Cell Block H. My mum used to always watch that, Gary. I don't know why, but that one used to freak me out a little bit. I don't know why, but Prisoner Cell Block H used to freak me out a little bit when I was young. The 11 o'clock show was a belter as well. Top Gear, that's probably my missus' favourite show of all time. Jay said we only had 4 channels growing up, so there wasn't a lot of choice. Some difference now to the kids, isn't it, for our kids growing up? God, we sound old here, but yeah, some difference even in those 20 odd years. Hello from Godfrey. Wasn't my cup of tea, but a very popular show. Mr. Bean, said Jay. We can't forget Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean was quality, heart to heart. Zig and Zag, real Irish shit right there. I won a moped actually on a show with Zig and Zag before, on a music show called a show called Too Fat. I won a moped on that one. I was about 17 at the time. Sex and the City, EastEnders. I still watch EastEnders. I'm an absolute freak for the soaps. EastEnders, Coronation Street, Neighbours, Home and Away. I watch them all. The Walking Dead. Alas, Smith and Jones, which is another good one. Wonderly Wagon. When I was going to get my tonsils out, Thomas, when I was a kid, I think I was in Crumlin. I think I got them out in Crumlin. I remember him saying to me, who wants to take a trip on the Wonderly Wagon? And that's how they got me down to the theatre, mate. So yeah, that definitely holds a special place in my memories. The Krypton Factor, yes, with the proper old school host. That was amazing. Krypton Factor was an absolutely amazing show. Top Gear's not the same. You're right. It's not the same without the original three. Well, not the original, but without the 3 guys, Hammond, Clark and May. It's just not the same. Never mind the Buzzcocks. Wonder Woman. And the Lasso of Truth. God. And that was such a shit show, but a good show if you get me. Just if you look back at it now, it just looks like such a piece of shit. Has anybody said the Hulk yet, by the way? TJ Hooker, definitely remember that one as well. Walker, Texas Ranger, my old lad loved that show. I don't know why, but he loved it. That always reminded me of what's that film with Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. That was a great film. War of the Buttons, which was a very Irish film. Charlie's Angels, a couple of people saying Charlie's Angels. Only Fools and Horses, which was the show, hands down, just the best. Escape to the Country. That's I used to watch, what's the one with your man Cash in the Attic. I used to watch that sometimes when I was stuck. Incredible Hulk and Baywatch. There you go. Baywatch was a belter. CJ, doesn't get much better than that. As Jay said, softcore porn there in the afternoon. And the Hoff, it gave us the Hoff as well. Song for a Raggy Boy, not for the faint-hearted. Yeah, there was definitely not one for me. Faulty Towers, the best short-lived 12 episode show ever. Just brilliant. Baywatch, an empty house and a box of Kleenex, said Tom. We've all been there, mate. There's no point in lying. We've all been there. Little House on the Prairie, Swap Shop, Golden Girls. I definitely remember that one as well. The Littlest Hobo, Pacific Blue. Gary, I remember every single show you're naming here. I'm remembering. Ahmed Red said, even all people are talking to doing a plane which flies over Anfield. That says we're quite happy actually. Which would I'm sure the money could be put to better use, to be fair. Food banks and stuff like that, but I like the sentiment. The Waltons, the Wild West. They used to put Faulty Towers on in school when they couldn't find something pointless to teach us. Moonlighting. That was really early, wasn't it? What's his name in that one? The actor. Oh, what's his fucking name? Bruce Willis. Yeah, Moonlighting was really. There was one more actually, wasn't there? There's one more TV show I'm trying to think of around the time of Moonlighting. It was fucking massive as well. Oh god, it was an American one. I can't think of it. Actually, none of us have mentioned Seinfeld, to be fair, which is, I mean, I could do a podcast or a TV show, not a TV show, an entire hour and a half stream about Seinfeld. Love the show so much. Sybil, yes, Gary, Sybil. Didn't we all just grow up watching Liverpool and Match of the Day, said Will, which is a good show. Lassie, Skippy and Flipper from Damo, all three absolute belters. Lost, I seen somebody say as well. There's still, I can't think of the name of that show that was on around the same time as Moonlight. I just can't think of what it was called. Into the West, have you seen it? Oh, Tejo and Ozzy, you have to have seen Into the West. There's a few Irish films you have to see actually. The Commitments is one of them. The Van is another one. Into the West. Just some purely amazing Irish films. What else is there? Batman and the Pow slap bang on the screen. Yep. Commissioner Gordon and all. Definitely remember that one. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Of course, my wife is called Sabrina El Chapo, so definitely remember that show. The Road to Istanbul. Now there's a show worth watching growing up. The Jeffersons, Popeye the Sailor, Flash Gordon. What else? Bananas in Pajamas. Saint and Greavesy. Jace, you've never watched an episode of Seinfeld in your life. Wow, you've got so much to look forward to. It's amazing. Oh, what a show. What a show. Seinfeld is just amazing. There's a couple of shows I think you have to watch, and this is again a topic for another day, but you've got to watch Seinfeld, you've got to watch what else would I put in my top 5? Seinfeld, Sopranos, The Wire, what else would I put in there? So many shows. House as well I think is amazing. But god Jace, you have to get on Seinfeld, man, it's amazing. Blazing Saddles was one hell of a film. If anybody moves that gets it. Imagine trying to, I've often said this, imagine trying to pitch Blazing Saddles now, going in to try and get that movie made. There wouldn't be a fucking hope of that movie getting made. Birds of a Feather, which, yeah, definitely grew up with Doreen in my life, yeah, definitely grew up with Birds of a Feather. Wurzel Gummidge. I said that to you when we were walking through a field before and we seen a scarecrow, and I turned around to my daughter and said, look, it's Wurzel Gummidge, and she hadn't got a clue what I was talking about. And Aunt Sally. The Young Offenders is a belter of a show, El Chapo, to be fair. It's much better than the film as well. The show is much better than the film. The Sonny and Cher show. Jesus, we're going back here. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Beverly Hills 90210 as well was another one growing up. Right guys, I'm going to call it a night. We could go on here talking about TV shows forever. So we should do this the last half hour at some point because there's so much for us to talk about. But yeah, we'll get to TV shows tomorrow night. That's what we'll do. When we're celebrating tomorrow night, we'll do TV shows. Best TV shows for the last 15 minutes. But guys, look, I'm going to call it a night. If you're watching the stream, there's still time to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the watch along of the Liverpool against Brighton game. We hope to see you guys there. If not, we'll be doing a post-match show as well, and we'll be back with a regular stream tomorrow night. So we hope to talk to you all then, guys. Thank you for joining us. You've been absolute legends, and up the motherfucking Reds.